What is up, guys? So we got 3 people watching, 2 thumbs up. I love it. Give me a like. Give me a subscribe. Shameless plug. Yeah, these new lights we've got are really different in some ways, and maybe better in some and worse in others. We're gonna play around with them for a while, though. We'll get it right. I want to not have whatever the hell is going on back there. Whatever. What's up, everybody? Kyle the Drink Pro here with you in the live stream. We're going to drop this down a little bitty bit. There you go. You can see me better. You can see this awesome shirt better, too. If you don't have one of these shirts, you need to get one of these shirts. These are really cool, well-designed shirts. Kyle T., an independent artist from, I believe, Iowa, created the design here. We worked with him. We had several meetings about making it right. This is the green little man, the little green man, I think, of Kentucky. There's a story about little green men coming down, alien visitings, alien sightings, and we know what they were after. Some whiskey. Why do I have a bottle opener? Well, Yolanda is not going to be drinking whiskey tonight. She's going to be drinking Strongbow, some hard cider. So I got a glass for her, because I'm a nice guy. Hope you guys are out there having a good thirsty Thursday. Let me know what you're sipping on in the comments. I love to keep track of what everybody's got in their glass. Looks good. So today is an interesting video because I want to talk a little bit about the future of the channel, which is something I don't typically do. I sometimes will talk here and there about, goings on in my life or, things I want to do in the future. But unfortunately, I have to take a moment and talk about my ability to continue to do this, which is not something I really like to even contemplate. So I've recently been diagnosed with a neurological disorder. I don't want to go into too many details. Trevor says just some beach tea. That's a good inside joke. We had quite a weekend not too long ago. What's up, Joe? So as part of this neurological disorder, I have to drastically reduce my intake of alcohol, in part because of the negative effects on my body and brain from the alcohol. This disorder gets exacerbated by alcohol, but also, and perhaps more importantly, because the medicine used to treat it requires is radically its efficacy is radically reduced by alcohol. So the medicine won't work if I'm drinking a lot on it. So that's not the end of the Drink Pro channel. Put that out there right now. I'm going to keep making videos. I'm going to keep making content. I'm going to have to do it a little differently, and we're going to figure out what that looks like. I'm starting the medicine on Saturday, so today it'll look pretty much like a normal stream, but things are going to change here in the very near future. So just bear with me, guys. Thank you guys for sticking around. Thank you guys for supporting me every way you can, watching, subscribing, everything you guys do. I really appreciate it. Yeah, Ben says, let's create a joint channel. You knows and I'll drink it. Well, unfortunately, I'm going to have to do something kind of like that. Hey, what's up? We got Heavy Bourbon in the chat. How you doing, Dan? So yeah, I'm not going to make the channel go away. I'm going to be here. The biggest change will probably come to live streams. I think with standard videos, 99% of the time, you're not going to notice the difference because I can easily edit around things. I do all my own video editing, so it'll be easy enough to make it work. I think for purposes of the live streams, I may have to incorporate a spit bucket, which is not something I like doing, but it may become necessary. I may have to do a lot smaller pours. We'll find a way to make it work. And I've gotten some great support from my patrons who've already reached out and said that, they were there to help me. They were there to be, behind my back. So I really appreciate that, guys. Thank you all so much. There's been a lot of kind words to me today. I just found out about this yesterday. Been a lot of kind words to me today, and I really appreciate that more than I can express. It means the world to me to know that people give a damn about this silly hobby that became something much larger throughout the pandemic. So thank you guys so much for continuing to support me. Matt missed the beginning. What's going on? long story short, I've been diagnosed with a neurological disorder that has required me to radically cut back on the amount of alcohol I consume. I double checked though with the doctors. I don't have to stop drinking entirely. I just have to change how much I'm drinking. And I think that's not going to be easy, but I believe I can do it. It's just going to be a matter of, yeah, spitball. It sounds like a great idea. Generally, I can have one drink a day, maybe two if if I abstain the next day. So pretty significant reduction when it comes to like in a session quantities. But I can do a lot more frequently. So basically, I'm going to be moving from my current model where I'm drinking, several times a week, but not every day, but I'm having more than 2 pours, to a model where I'm probably having 1 pour a night and filming most nights. And it's going to be a little bit different of a model. But we're going to make it work because I'm keeping this channel going. You guys have been so supportive. I love you. Thank you. Let's keep drinking and keep enjoying ourselves and keep drinking like professionals. I appreciate that, Matthew. I believe I can do it. I've had people come out, reach out, and tell me they think I can do it. Watching these things will remind me that you guys believe in me. So that helps so much. Buy a shirt if you're feeling really generous, thedrinkpro.com. Yolanda will be joining me, by the way. She is upstairs putting dirt on her face, fancy dirt, the most fancy dirt, called makeup, I think is what they call it. But, oh, man. Okay, so what the hell's the point of this video? The point of this video is to talk about whiskeys you need to buy today and not wait for tomorrow. Here's why. Yeah, Joe said it's not a repeat of last Thursday. That's probably true. These whiskeys that I've got in front of me, I think they're all bourbons. Yeah, well, we can get into that. I actually agree with that, Trevor, but she does not agree with that. So these bourbons, I sort of wanted to do a video where I've seen a lot of whiskey tubers make videos about the most underrated whiskey or the most overrated whiskey or things like that. I wanted to go a little bit of a different direction. I wanted to say, what whiskey, if you're going to go to a store and you see this on the shelf, should you buy it right then and there? And why? And also, I wanted to kind of avoid rarity as a criteria. Some of these are a little bit harder to get, but that's more about location and not about like being an allocated bourbon. But I want to focus on what different reasons why you might want to buy the whiskey now instead of waiting. So we're going to have sort of two different categories, and we can break it down a little bit. But the first category is going to be companies that are really on the rise. So whiskey that I think you need to buy now because in the future it's going to be twice as expensive or hard to find, or it might get national distribution, which means smaller distributions where it is right now, things like that. And the second category is whiskey that I think is going to become expensive, going to become rare, and will become allocated, but isn't right now. I think a good example of that maybe is the Four Roses store picks. Four Roses store picks several years ago were super easy to get your hands on, but now are pretty sought after, pretty hard to get your hands on. Dan suggests Old Elk. That's a good suggestion, Dan. It's not actually part of my lineup here. But I think Dan's right that Old Elk is heading for a moment of rarity. And part of that's because I think people sort of, when I first tried Old Elk, I'll be honest, I didn't like it. And I think that's because the early Old Elk picks, they were lacking in different ways. It was sort of like they had to find their bearings. And then, I had some Old Elk not too long ago that was just fantastic, just wonderful. And I said, oh, wow, and some of the picks that I've got in this lineup are like that, where somebody sort of started off, maybe faltered a little bit, but then they really got their stride. And so we've got those whiskeys here today. I'm going to go ahead and start with my first pour. Ben would love to find Starlight. Oh, and I probably won't be eating on camera today because I ate literally just before this, which is why I'm pulling rice out of my teeth. Let's start with...
To be fair, we did expect you to.
I know. People often expect me to eat on camera. At some point, I'm just going to make a mukbang channel. What? You're talking over me, baby.
I said I meant tonight we expected you.
Oh, well, not going to happen. But first one up, Starlight. Trevor already referenced it. Ben's looking for it. Help Ben out. Somebody help Ben out. Starlight single barrel picks are really, really phenomenal. Now, I talked with Joseph and Dave at Vine and Table today about this specifically, ironically, because Starlight picks.
It didn't uncover.
Okay, Starlight picks are can be hard to find depending on where you're at, but they also
You're
aren't.
right. I hate these new lights.
I knew you would. They're not all. They're also not all as good as some of them. There's some variation, and we really can't lean on this table at all. There is some variation in the. Yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed it, Trev. I picked up this pick for Trevor because he's in the Patreon. You should consider joining too. Shameless plug. Okay, back at it.
Wait, the one you keep drinking?
What? No, I already gave him his bottle. He's got it.
Okay.
I think.
Checking.
I hope so. So some of the Starlight picks aren't as good as others. Some people are more careful about picking barrels than others. Always, whenever you're looking at barrel picks, always follow the palate of the people that are picking it. That's step one, always. But if you know the palate and you like the palate, get these picks. Starlight single barrel, and it's the Huber's picks. They look like that. These are on the shelf in a lot of places. And honestly, they're just fantastic. The Starlight has been making good whiskey for a while. Starlight, Indiana, that's right. Several of these are going to be Indiana distilleries. Well, 2 of them.
Hey, out of 5, that's several.
It is. So Starlight has been making whiskey for a while now, and they're really starting to come into their own. These are 4-year picks. Almost all the ones I've seen are 4 or 5 years old. They do rye, they do bourbon. I've had great picks from both. And even their standard stuff, honestly, is pretty good. But the reason I think this is so important to get now is because I think in the future, this is going to become a lot more sought after or a lot more expensive. Usually with a small distillery like this, releasing at $50 a bottle, which is the price of this one, I would almost immediately instinctually go, this is overpriced. This is just like a young distillery that hasn't done a lot. They're trying to up the price per bottle so they can, make a big revenue stream. But honestly, these are worth every single penny. They're worth every single penny. See, Ben mentions that he either missed them or they aren't really in Texas. Yeah, unfortunately, Texas in particular is a difficult market. There's a lot of things in Texas that aren't here, a lot of things here that aren't in Texas.
My favorite U.S. vodka is in Texas.
Yeah.
And it's incredibly hard for us to get here.
Yeah. Dripping Springs.
Mm-hmm.
Dripping Springs, Texas.
From Dripping Springs, Texas.
Starlight is not in all the states, unfortunately, Matthew, but it is going to be there soon. I know they're rapidly expanding, which is one of the reasons I put them on this list, is that they're going to be coming to a lot of places very soon. And when new things come to places, a lot of times people don't give them, they give them short shrift. They don't really pay attention to them. When this starts arriving in your location, which it will soon, grab these, pick these up. If you want to be on the ahead of the curve, I think this is a great pick. I'll give you some notes on this one. This is the one from Bourbon World, aka Vine and Table. This is their 114.6 proof 4-year-old pick. Ben can get us some Dripping Springs, he says.
Ooh, I'd be down.
Well, Ben, if you're looking for Starlight ever, reach out to me in a DM and we'll work something out, brother. So the nose on this, to me, is like gingerbread and candy corn. It's nice and sweet and sticky, like toffee, maybe. There's a little bit of ginger coming out of it. Now, I've had this bottle open for maybe a month, and it's starting to open up a little bit.
Oh, is this the tasty one?
Yeah. You want to smell it?
I've got a lot going on over here.
Yeah,
it just smells like alcohol to me in there.
Well, that's too bad.
And I'm drinking Cabernet and Strongbow.
She's going for it. Yeah, hit me up in a DM, Ben. We'll make something happen. I just think this is a beautiful whiskey. I mean, you can smell that it's relatively young. It is only 4 years old, but that isn't always a bad thing. A lot of big, major distilleries make 4-year-old whiskey, 4-year-old bourbon, and release it regularly. A lot of bottled and bond products, standard shelf, are 4 years old, or maybe 5 or 6. I've had picks of Starlight as old as 6, I think. Maybe even 7. Hard to remember, but I mean, I wouldn't want this to be much older, honestly, because it just smells like sweet, sticky toffee cinnamon.
It's like
ginger.
Christmas in a glass.
It really is. It's really Christmas in a glass. I'm gonna take a taste of it and give you some tasting notes. You can taste a little bit of that oak right away, which it comes back to what I was saying. Is I don't really want this to be aged longer necessarily. This particular pour is at the right point in its life cycle. Some, excuse me, some whiskeys you need to age for a while longer, and some you need to just get out of there as soon as possible. 4 years is perfect. Let's see, what did Trev say?
Well, Wilderness Trail is one that I have high hopes for with a few more years on it.
I completely agree. Wilderness Trail is doing some good things. I do feel like they drink a little young. And I could see somebody saying the same thing about Starlight. But for me, I don't get the grain notes. A lot of young whiskey has grain quality, and that is a big turnoff for a lot of whiskey people. If you ask some major master distillers, if you ask the Russells from Wild Turkey, for example, what makes a young whiskey versus what makes an old whiskey, too old, they're going to say it's going to be over oaked. Too young, they're going to say tastes like grains. So that to me is a classic example. This doesn't have any grain taste at all. Not corn, not wheat, nothing. It tastes like bourbon.
I'm surprised you started with that one.
It may have been a mistake.
It's one of his favorites right now.
Well, actually, these are all kind of high proof, so maybe it's not as much of a mistake as I thought.
Well, but you like it. This morning when I get off is what Adam said. Can't drink yet. Going to UPS soon.
There we go.
I'm probably going to enjoy some Pinhook.
Pinhooks, yeah. So interesting thing.
Single barrel 5-year pick for 2020.
I'm glad you brought that up, Adam. Pinhook is really interesting to me because I've had some really good pinhooks and I've had some really bad pinhooks. Pinhook, I think it's because it's a single barrel product. Is one of those that has so much potential, but if you get a barrel that isn't speaking to you right, it's going to be rough. But Pinhook's definitely solid.
And then Ben says Wilderness Store picks can be really solid.
They can be, absolutely. I do feel like more, it's one of those percentage things. I think I would say of the Wilderness Store picks I've had, I've probably tasted, let's say 7 or 8. Not a bunch, but enough to get a baseline.
Where's that from?
Yeah, where is Wilderness Trail from? I can't remember.
Because I've never heard of it.
It's relatively new. I could show you a picture of the bottle and you'd recognize it, but it's been a minute.
Really?
Yeah, probably. It's on the shelves more often than you think.
I don't go to liquor stores. You do.
All right, let me give you some more notes on this one.
Trevor says 4 years is perfect on that Starlight.
Yeah, he's got this bottle. Yeah, it's got a little bit of oak. It's got a lot of baking spices, cinnamon, ginger. It really is gingerbread cookies to me. And the sweetness lingers, which is something I really like. And it's kind of hard to do. I don't know why, but to have a finish that lingers with a sugary, almost corn syrupy vibe. Yeah, don't remind her of that, Trev.
What is that?
No, nothing.
I can go back and see the comments. I have to check on the board.
Yolanda's got a pork roast in the oven of some kind, so she's checking on that. So now I'm going to go a completely different direction. That was the first one. If you see it, get it. If it's not in your area, when you see it, start getting it. If you want to organize a trade or something for things I can't get, I'm always interested to listen to things like that, so reach out to me. thedrinkpro@gmail.com. I'm the Drink Pro on every social media platform. You can reach out to me anywhere.
TikTok is
underscore the Drink Pro on TikTok. So we're going to go from small up-and-comer to a big boy who's been around for a while. I'm talking about Wild Turkey 101. Now, you might say, what the hell are you talking about, Kyle? I can get Wild Turkey 101 at any time. Why would I feel compelled to buy it now when I can get it tomorrow or next week or next month or whatever? Well, here's why. Wild Turkey is once again changing their label. And Wild Turkey, now I know they've changed the label several times in the last few years. So some people might not give that much thought and they just be like, whatever, I don't care. It's the same juice. It might not be. And you have to have sort of a historical perspective on this. If you go to whiskey secondary markets and you look at people buying old Wild Turkey, and I don't mean 70s, I don't mean she didn't. Yolanda just read. Yolanda just read Trevor's comment.
I do go in when the dog's not in the car with me and it's, 28 degrees outside.
So if you look historically at wild turkey, and like I said, I don't mean 70s dusty turkey, although if you find that, it's going to sell for a lot of money. I'm talking about, Austin, like the late versions of Austin Nichols wild turkey, which is not that long ago, not that old. Those sell for a lot of money now. And I think there are a lot of people out there who are turkey completionists and who they want to have all the different kinds of wild turkey.
Explain what a turkey completionist.
Yeah, so it's somebody who wants all the different kinds of wild turkey. They want to be able to say, look, I've got Wild Turkey 101 from every form, every year, all the different labels they've got. Because it's a storied brand, it's got a big history, and it's just good to drink. It's easy drinking, it's tasty, it's a great baseline whiskey. People often sleep on it, but Wild Turkey 101 is a great baseline whiskey. I put it up there with Buffalo Trace, I put it up there with Elijah Craig. These are great baseline pours. And when you know that something's going to go away, this label won't be around much longer. Having a case of that in your basement is a great thing to have because worst case scenario, bourbon market blows up, everything's worth nothing anymore. This is still really good to drink, and you didn't spend as much money on it, so you're not worried about it. You don't feel guilty about spending, $20, $25 a bottle, maybe less if you buy a case and somebody gives you a discount. You don't feel guilty about holding on to that and not being worth anything extra. So you can either drink a bunch of really good whiskey for cheap in 10 years, or you have a really great investment. That is a win-win in my mind. If you've got the space, do investment products. I get a case of Wild Turkey, just throw it in the corner. Just stack stuff on top of it.
Joe Brown says, love the 101 Wild Turkey in my old fashions.
Exactly. It's a great mixer. And, it drinks well alone. It drinks well on ice. It drinks well as a mixer. It is a very versatile whiskey. I cannot recommend it enough. And I often think people who are new to whiskey come into Wild Turkey 101 is like an introduction to high proof products. But a lot of people who've been in whiskey for a long time sleep on Wild Turkey. I know I have. I was just doing it.
He had to go to the store to go buy it
because I didn't have it on my in my house.
And he questioned whether or not he wanted to go buy it. And I said, if you don't want to go buy it, then it shouldn't be on your list.
Which is 100% true. And I thought about it. I said, you know what? You are right. I am going to go buy it. And we're going to talk about it.
Ben says, could be the next Heaven Hill 6 year.
That's a great point, Ben. Absolutely. The Heaven Hill 6 years that just disappeared. Yeah, the Heaven Hill 6 year bottle bond, the green label, I believe. Yeah, those just disappeared. And suddenly they brought them back a year older and jacked the price up $30, $40. And now those green labels are selling for $50 or $60 on the secondary. And they're not that expensive of a whiskey. Now they're good, but they're not that good. And if the bourbon market blows up, you're still going to have good 6-year-old Heaven Hill. Not going to be mad about it. So let's talk about the tasting notes on the turkey.
Gobble, gobble.
Gobble, gobble. Now, high rye, much higher rye than the Starlight. So you're going to smell that sharpness. But this is a new glass also, by the way. But it's still got wonderful sweetness. Let's see if I can't put a name to it. I think very much vanilla. Now, you just saw me crack this. That's a fresh pop on this bottle. But I get like caramel vanilla. I get a little bit of nuttiness. And the rye spice is really prominent. Do you want to get a glass so you can taste these with me?
I'm going to have to, because otherwise I have very little input to this stream, and the people like our banter. And otherwise it's just me sitting here reading the comments to you.
You're very sparkly. Trevor, what's a great question as always, when's the new batch of Drink Pro glasses arriving?
We don't know.
I don't know, man.
They're in Tennessee.
They're in Tennessee. We're working on it. We really are. I promise. I promise we're working on it. I sent an email yesterday about it, and they're getting back to me.
Did Trevor not get any from the first batch?
No, he got some.
He just wants more.
Yeah.
You gonna have some flowers with your water?
They can't see their water. There's a pitcher of water over here that the flowers are dripping into.
Well, I have a floral arrangement on our table that is, for obvious reasons, not in the center of the table right now. And he like shoved the pitcher into the flowers.
That sounds right.
Show you where to shove it.
I just put some in your glass.
Oh, I missed that entirely.
Getting honey as well. You don't like that rye spice.
I smell acetone. Sure, you guys love that comment. Ooh, you got to use your fancy new.
Yeah, I gotta open the bottle with my fancy new bottle opener.
You got lots of bar stuff
I did.
this Christmas.
I don't know if Dan is still in the chat, but we got some cool things coming up from some of my Christmas presents with Heavy Bourbon on Instagram. You should check them out.
I was thinking you could try the barrel tonight.
I might break out the barrel.
Since you, with your weird concoction of
I've got some fun
empty
things,
bottles.
got some fun experiments in the back room over here that are really interesting. All right, let's give this a taste.
I don't really smell anything.
This is oakier, definitely spicier.
Very hot.
It does drink hot for people that aren't used to this kind of proof.
I'm drinking Strongbow.
Yeah, so it's going to go from a pretty sweet cider to something that's hot, but it's really nice and herbal. It's kind of honestly the polar opposite of the Starlight. The Starlight is super sweet and baking spices. To me, this is herbal. This is oaky. It's got a slight honey note, but generally speaking, it's just a really easy drinking. This is easy drinking for 50.5%.
I feel like I know this is one of your top 5s to buy, but like I kind of just feel like this is generic bourbon.
Well, and I think that's kind of the point, is that at worst case scenario, you're going to have a case of decent generic bourbon in the basement they didn't spend too much on. And at best case scenario, you're going to triple your money on something that you're not worried about losing. You're not worried about its investment value. It's a low risk, high reward thing to have your hands on.
Brian asks if it's 12% rye.
That's a great question. I don't remember the rye percentage in Wild Turkey, which is embarrassing.
Not on the bottle anywhere. He is looking up the mash bill now.
I should know, but I don't.
You don't know where your Fitbit is. You're not going to remember where how much rye is in this. I'm surprised you remember what bottles you own.
I don't sometimes.
For example, having to run out right before the stream to go buy Wild Turkey 101.
Yeah, that's a good example. So the Wild Turkey 101.
Bourbon of the week says 75% corn, 13% rye.
That's what I was thinking, is it was 13%. I appreciate that. Oh, what? That's almost gone.
Of course it's almost gone.
It's interesting because 13% rye is not actually that high of a rye. Bourbon of the week. I had to look it up. Yep.
They're just faster because
they're not trying to live stream.
Yep.
But I appreciate the assist.
We appreciate the help.
Yeah, so I mean, it drinks higher rye than 13% in my mind, but they even call it a high rye bourbon on their bottle.
What's typical? 8?
So it does drink spicier than 13%. Totally. That's a good question. What is it? What is a not high rye? I've seen like 8 to 10. I wouldn't consider that high rye.
So I was right.
Yeah.
You just didn't want to say I was.
Well, I would say you said 10.
I said 8.
Okay. Oh yeah, you're probably right in the
I said what's normal, like 8?
Yeah. I didn't say you were wrong.
You said 10.
Well, I gave you credit. Brian, you read my mind, my friend, because the other thing I was going to mention was Wild Turkey Rare Breed. There you go. The lights are bright. There it is. Brian predicted the next move, which is to Rare Breed, which is barrel proof. And the reason Rare Breed is on the list is actually kind of the same reason that the Wild Turkey 101 is on the list. First off, list. Why it's on the list, not the wrist. First off, Wild Turkey Rare Breed, fantastic bourbon. They also have a rye now, the Wild Turkey Rare Breed rye, which is also fantastic. We texted
my boss.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah, great value for Rare Breed. Yeah, Wild Turkey's a great value. Absolutely, totally agree, guys. The Rare Breed bourbon, they're actually switching batches. They're in the process of doing that, which is, like I said, kind of what they're doing with the Wild Turkey 101. So I think it's good to get the old stuff while you can. Not necessarily the new stuff will be bad, but it's good to have both versions. It's good to do side-by-sides.
Can I have some water? Unlike you, I don't have a box of glassware in front of me that I can just magically pull a new glass from.
There you go.
Thank you.
Glad
I don't do the dishes in this house.
Yeah, certainly. So.
Oh, shut up, mister. I wear 6 outfits a day.
You get mad at me for not wearing clothes enough.
Well, you're either naked or changing multiple times a day. I just want a middle ground. It's either full dick or coverage 6 different times. One outfit a day suffices. That's all I want. I don't need like Mr. Pooh Bear walking around the house.
Are you done? Are you done now?
For now.
Can you move this out of the shot?
Can you move your bottle out of the shot? There you go.
Wild Turkey Rare Breed is starting a new batch run. So get the current batch while you can. It's not expensive. Same thing like Wild Turkey 101. It's going to be on the shelf, but it's not going to be the same. And it doesn't necessarily mean the new stuff will be bad, but it's good to have both versions. And this is a good version. This is a tasty version. So even if the new version's better, good to have both. Now, I get a lot more heat on this version, obviously, because we're going from 101 to this one's 116.8% or proof, 58.4 here.
Matt says drinking bourbon naked makes it taste better. Truth.
Same thing with peeing outside. It's just, it feels right, you know. Not that I do that in this very urban area.
Have you peed outside at our house?
No comment. Oh, yeah, this is compared to that 101. Let me get the nose back.
What is this? What am I getting right
Wild Turkey Rare Breed.
Oh.
Now this is a lot spicier in a rich, broad way. It's not just rye spice. This has baking spice. This has a lot of herbal notes. I get a little bit of eucalyptus, a little bit of pine. Still get that honey. It's still Wild Turkey product. But the oakiness really starts to come forward as well. I get like wood chips, like the bark of a tree.
Matt, if he only drank bourbon naked, I don't think I would have as much of a problem with it. But he's just naked. He walks in the door and then takes his pants off and his underwear.
King of the castle.
And then is just bottom down completely naked. That's right. I just said that on the internet.
Good.
Hopefully your mom's watching so she can yell at you.
Lose my job. Okay.
It's your home. I think you're allowed to be naked at home. It's not like you're showing full dick on the internet.
That's true.
That would be a different story.
Join my OnlyFans. No, I'm not making an OnlyFans. I'm not making an OnlyFans. I gotta draw the line somewhere. We should look into that.
No, we shouldn't. I'm not. No. Real power move, says Ben.
That's right, brother. That is a power move.
And then Brian says TMI.
Yeah, I blame her. She brought this up. Okay, let's go ahead and taste this.
Did it?
Mm-hmm. Trevor's creating links already. OnlyFans / the drink bro. Haven't reserved that one yet. Ooh, that one's got a nice Kentucky
Nate?
hug.
Where's our other admin?
Trevor's picking up all the slack. Nate's slacking off. Who knows what he's doing?
Trevor needs a raise.
Trevor is fairly compensated.
Nate, when you watch this, because I know you will, you're in trouble.
He won't watch all of this.
He'll at least watch the first 35 minutes.
Maybe. We'll see.
All
right, hold on. Nate, if you watch this in the future, for those of you who don't know, Nate and Trevor were early strong supporters of my channel.
Admins.
And are my admins. They're my wrenches. Nate, if you watch this, that's a common term. Nate, if you watch this in the future, if you're seeing me right now, send me a text with a banana emoji. So when I get that text, I'll know you've watched this. And if you don't watch this and I don't get that banana emoji, I'm gonna be real sad.
Screw the banana emoji. Send him an eggplant.
No, banana.
Eggplant.
Banana.
Eggplant.
Both of them. All right, gonna keep drinking.
I was gonna say 35 minutes in, Nate is not gonna run away from talking about full dick.
That's fair. You're the man who likes. Never mind. Okay. Tasting notes.
Always smells caramel.
I mean, this to me is a beautifully balanced whiskey. It's oaky.
Interesting.
It's sweet. I get like a sugar syrupy sweet, like a simple syrup sweetness.
It's not spicy though.
Not as spicy as you'd expect. It's not as spicy as the 101 in terms of rye spice. It's got more broad, oaky. The baking spice comes forward in a way the 101 does not, in my mind. So,
And
hey, we got 20 people in the
it's higher
stream.
proof.
Thank you all for joining.
It's higher proof too.
Yeah, by a significant amount.
Well,
101 to 116.8. So, 7 to 8% there. I mean, that's significant once you're getting
this is much tastier.
There you go. And that's from somebody who doesn't drink a lot of bourbon.
I would rather have this than 101. But I don't like rye. I don't like rye.
Well, they're both high ryes.
What?
They have the same mash bill.
That's crazy.
It's just the rye is, because of the baking spice and the broadness of the oak, I think in the rare breed, the rye becomes more of a backseat background rye, whereas with the 101, the rye stays front and center and prominent. But it's a great buy. You should buy it now because they're changing batches. Get on it.
Trevor says rare breed is also a lot better than 101. Hashtag truth.
I agree. Let's move to the fourth pour.
I'm not done with my third. You're going too fast.
Oh, I'm going too fast. Yeah, that Kentucky Hug is definitely.
You're also only 36 minutes in, so you probably are going too fast. Wait, why are there 6 bottles? This was supposed to be top 5.
The rare breed was a bonus bottle.
You didn't say that.
I know. It is. You're totally right. Ben and Brian, the rare breed has a lot of good stuff going on. You get that nice Kentucky Hug. It's full of good flavor. She gets the comments earlier than I do.
So
if Nate was here, he might mute you.
Yeah.
Yeah, he might. Well, I guess I'm gonna
he can't. So fun fact: Nate can't mute Trevor, and Trevor can't mute Nate.
Did they try?
I don't know. Have you guys tried that, Trevor? Let us know. I don't think they can though, because they've joked about it before. They've joked about kicking each other out. How is the rare breed blend changing?
So,
from D Brown,
rare breed is a large batch product, and every so often they change the blend. They change the profile a little bit, and it typically comes with a change of proof.
Also, he lied to you. He is eating on stream.
Well, you told me I had to kill time. What am I gonna do?
Trevor says, yeah, you can't 2 other wrenches. So
there you go. Good to know.
No muting of other wrenches.
So I don't believe the proof is actually going to change, which is interesting because in the past when they've changed batches, they've changed the proof. I believe they keep the proof the same this time, but it's going to be coming from a different batch. And let me see if I can show you. You know what? Let the people know what's going on in your life.
I already did. You're full dick. Like anytime I walk downstairs.
Please not talk about my dick while I'm not on the stream, please.
That's what's going on in my life. Hashtag quarantine life. Walk downstairs and there's dick. I'm a graphic designer for anyone who's new here. I worked for a very large media company. My boss is a fan of the channel. And she's very excited about bourbon and whiskey. There you go.
All right.
Build the gap.
Great.
Also, Ben says, with it not being age stated, I wouldn't be surprised if they used younger whiskey in it moving forward.
Yeah, I think that is maybe my biggest concern, to be honest with you.
Joe, I was going to call him out for that.
Yeah, I know. I can't help it. It just feels right. I'm going to do a video at some point on food and whiskey pairings because it just feels right to eat while I'm drinking.
I made him pork fried rice before tonight's stream. Hey, we're up to 21.
Very good. There you go.
Highest stream yet.
It isn't, but it's.
Really?
Yeah. We had one that got to like 25 or something.
Was I on here?
I don't know. It's been a while. Yeah, always nice when both the coworkers and the bosses watch. Yeah, it was kind of an odd experience I had recently finding out that Chris. I don't know if Chris Russell's in the chat. The Dick Pro. There you go. Easy. I like it. was a lob, but you hit it out of the park, Matt.
For some reason, my phone decided to completely skip Matt's comment, so that's cool.
Well, that's fun. But yeah, I hope Chris is in the chat joining us.
Just in time for that Dick Pro comment!
Yeah, that's why I was trying to get you to stop talking about my dick.
I told you, my boss watches these.
Well, regardless, let's go in with...
Better do these in the right order.
Yeah. All right, so now we've got a fun one. This...
That's a great sound.
...is Obtainium light whiskey. And these lights...
Wash it out.
There you go. There you go. You can see it now. Cat's Eye Distillery, Obtainium Masters Collection Series Light Whiskey.
Where do you find that? Because that looks like a real homemade label.
It really does. It looks real shoddy.
It does look real shoddy.
I found this in Illinois.
It looks like someone made it in their basement.
It does. I found this in Illinois. The Cat's Eye Distillery is in Iowa. Shout out my Iowans.
There are several of you.
And this is Obtainium Light Whiskey. It's sourced by Cat's Eye from Lawrenceburg, Indiana. So it's from MGP. But it's
all whiskey.
But it's light whiskey. It's now not all of them I don't believe are 14 years, but they're all rather old. All of them, this is aged 14 years, and it's incredibly high proof. This particular batch, 138.9.
We're switching to softboxes next stream, right?
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. I know you don't like these.
I hate
so
them.
I think this is a really interesting whiskey for a couple reasons. First off, this whiskey is pretty, it's not flashy, you know. It's very, as Yolanda pointed out, it's very minimalistically labeled.
I have so many issues.
It's a source product from MGP, which a lot of people kind of turn, you know, that they don't pay as much attention to as they probably should. MGP makes fantastic whiskey. It is 14 years old, but it's light whiskey. A lot of people, again, kind of poo-poo light whiskey. Now, what is light whiskey? Light whiskey is whiskey that is distilled at higher than 160 proof, but lower than 180 proof. 180 proof is vodka. So it's going to have a lot more of the essences that are in distillate, that are in the low wines and the high wines, pulled and stripped out of it. So it's going to have less flavor on the face of things, but what that can actually create is a really interesting, nice, gentle drinking experience. Something that would be really nice even at a high proof on, say, a hot summer's day. Now,
or paired with sushi like I did with your...
Exactly, or paired with sushi, or in a situation where you want more delicate flavors.
Fish.
Fish would be a great example. Now, this whiskey, I recently did a blind with a couple of friends. I think Trevor was there for this one. We did a blind tasting of several big hitter bottles. I mean big hitter bottles. I mean bottles that are in big Whiskey Tuber Whiskey of the Year award level bottles.
Trevor says, I don't remember where it placed in the flight. We did, but I know it was super impressed with it. I was super impressed with it.
This was the winner of that flight, Trev. This was first place. This beat out, I'll name a couple bottles so you guys know what I'm talking about. This beat out the two different Stag Junior batches. This beat out the Old Carter Batch 5 bourbon, which I believe was Mash and Drum's Whiskey of the Year. Now, this was blind, by the way. Yeah.
And MD
said, wouldn't that pull more sap from the oak at higher proofs like that? Maybe not. That's a very good question, MD. I think it probably could go deeper into the barrel, but you have to sort of temperature control it more specifically too. Because of that deepness, you can get past all of the sweet sugars that are sort of at the first and second levels in the oak. You get the charred. At the char, you get a mellowing. Then you get into the sugars, the vanillins, all of that interesting sweet caramel flavor. Then you get into the oak. And then you can get into sort of an astringency, and that's like the different levels of flavor drawn from different places in the wood, in the oak. So I think this would have to be more temperature controlled. This might not do as well in, say, Texas, where you have huge temperature fluctuations. So this was probably pretty carefully placed throughout the warehouses at MGP. Do you think light whiskey can handle longer aging over traditional bourbon? I'm going to say no. And the reason is because...
I couldn't figure it out.
The reason is because what you're afraid of getting from over-oaking bourbon is too much astringent wood. And I think with the lack of other elements from the distillate, if you take light whiskey and you age it for the same amount of time, it's actually going to be harder to avoid over-oaking. because it will be more prominent. That oak flavor is going to stand out more than it would in something with strong sweet corn and vanilla flavors. So it actually might be harder to avoid an over oaking.
Boop boop. Thank you.
Which is one of the reasons you don't see a lot of light whiskey floating around out there. Light whiskey has to fit into this sweet spot where it's not too young to just be, sharp and grain forward and not very flavorful, but not so old that all you're pulling from it is chewing on a barrel stave oak. It's a delicate balance. It's a hard whiskey to make well, which is one of the reasons you don't see a lot of it out there. And the people that are making it are people like MGP, who make so much whiskey and have so much control over their product that it's not an issue. Now, like I said, this whiskey beat some serious heavy hitters in blind pourings. We did 5 or 6 lined up. I think it was actually 6 lined up blind. Several different Old Carter batches, including the bourbon number 5, which I can't emphasize enough. So many people found that to be their bourbon of the year. And this beat it blind.
Bourbon number 5? Like Mambo number 5?
Yes. We're not going to sing it because we'll get another copyright claim.
Hey, my name's in that song, though.
They're very litigious. But yeah,
my name's not in very many songs.
So this bottle doesn't really stand out, so it's much more likely to sit out on a shelf, from places that people don't know about it. But most recently, now, like I said, this batch is 138.9 proof. They very recently have released a proof that was over 70%. The famed hazmat proof. Once you get over 70%, according to federal government regulations, it is hazardous material. And that's why they call it hazmat. So
and people drink it.
And people drink it. So there is a version of this out there that is hazmat. That's brand new. But this was the 138.9, which if I see this again, I'm buying it in a heartbeat.
I need to reach out to them and see if I can do some freelance work. Obtainium has so much
potential
and a cool label. And this
Trevor, you hit it right. We had Old Carter Bourbon 5, Old Carter Bourbon 6, and Old Carter American number 3. Those were the 3 in it. I believe we also had the Obtainium Light Whiskey, and we had the batch 3 Stag Junior and the batch 11 batch 11 Stag Junior. They also just released an 11-year Canadian rye whiskey.
Well, that's what I was
there you go. I have not had a chance to try that one. We got Mike McAllister in the chat now. So let's go ahead and pour this out. That's plenty of preamble. This is pretty toasty stuff, so I would pour with care. Boom.
I always do. Distilled in 2005. You were 15.
I was a young buck.
You're just a baby.
Now, on the nose, you can smell that it's high proof. It is not gentle. It's not for the faint of heart. But that's one of the reasons I put it in the flight that I did. I paired it up against a lot of high proof stuff. Those old Carter batches are delicious, and they make them high proof.
Oh man, I don't like this.
I know you weren't gonna like this because it's pretty strong. It's sharp. I get a little bit of pear. I get lemon.
It smells like a cleaning product to me.
You get a little bit of that pininess.
I can see pear.
It's a little bit, yeah. It's a pretty fruity, sharp, definitely high proof whiskey. But man, I cannot recommend Obtainium Light Whiskey enough.
Mike McAllister says brand new. They just released an 11-year Canadian whiskey, brand new.
Yeah, now that takes a couple seconds to get used to.
Oh, I guess I skipped over a few comments. But I was not paying attention to where you were, and you were reading the comments all by yourself like a big boy. So I'll just let you have at it. You don't need my help here.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh. Ooh, I smell honeysuckle. Oh, we're tasting now. Is that?
Mm-hmm. Maybe this is beautiful whiskey. It's hot. She's struggling over here.
Nope. Nope. You can have the remainder.
I think it's beautiful. Honey, fruit, a little bit of rice spice, just a little bit. Taste it out of this glass for care. You get more
jet fuel.
You get more of the bitter oak in that one. I think I prefer it out of the blend.
Get it here.
You're not gonna like it. Trevor said, "Oh, come on, Yolanda, it's great stuff."
No, it's jet fuel. I don't even like the smell of that.
Well, Yolanda's wrong, and there's a lot of people out there that think like she does. So,
That think like I do?
yeah, I think this is going to be junk because it's light whiskey, super high proof. They're going to assume it's jet fuel. Not everyone agrees. I don't agree. I think it's fantastic.
Well, but I also prefer vodka, which is like half the proof. And not aged.
Oh, it's so good. It's so well balanced.
MD says, damn, wish I could try it.
Hit me up, MD. We might be able to make something work. I'm always amenable to conversations.
No, thank you.
But yeah, I mean, this thing is
MD,
just...
you can have my share.
I mean, lots of fruit and honey, like I said. It's got a creaminess that you don't expect for something at high proof. And this lingering honey sweetness all around the palate, it just dances. The finish is so long on this, but it's not oaky. You get a slight oak up front, but the oakiness is not on the finish. It's sweet, with a little bit of rye spice, a little bit of like a pepper on the tongue. It's just a beautiful pour. I just can't recommend that enough. People are sleeping on that. They're not going to for much longer. One of the major whiskey tube channels got their hands on the hazmat version, and they gave it pretty high reviews. I don't remember who it was, but it's going to start disappearing. It's going to start being very hard to find that Obtainium. So if you see it now, get it now, because it's not going to stick around for very much longer.
Oh, it's from Indiana.
Yeah, it's from MGP, Lawrenceburg, Indiana.
Obtainium Masters Collection Series.
Yep.
Fancy.
Yeah. Trevor says, I am a Buffalo Trace homer. And I pick that stuff in blinds all the time, and Obtainium beat it. That's true. And Trevor said, yeah, it was ADHD whiskey that had the Obtainium and loved it. I couldn't remember who it was. That's right. ADHD loved the Obtainium. Let's go for a very different direction here.
Man. Well, both of those are very different directions. Neither of them are any form of direction to Obtainium. Yeah, that could have such a cool logo.
Yeah, you should reach out to them.
I'm going to.
Maybe they'll send us free bottles if you do some graphic design work.
I'm cheap Obtainium. I have a big girl job.
There you go.
So I don't need to cover benefits. That's already taken.
Just need to freelance.
I just need to freelance.
So, as you can probably guess from this bottling, Slim Pickets in North Carolina, super heavy, all these heavy hitter bottles people review. Yeah, North Carolina is Slim Pickens, unfortunately.
We're lucky to be so close to Kentucky.
We really are.
And Indiana's producing some pretty solid stuff.
Yeah. Several of the things that we've talked about. I mean, MGP is from the Obtainium, but we've got 2 distilleries. The last distillery, hint, is in Indiana one. But before we get to that, sorry about Knob Creek.
3 Indianas.
Yeah.
You said 2 earlier.
2 are Indiana distilled and bottled. 1 is sourced from Indiana and then it's bottled in Iowa. Knob Creek, now specifically the store picks. This is the Cap and Cork store pick, which is from Fort Wayne, Indiana. And as you can see, or maybe not because my hands are a little shaky, this is a 15-year-old bottling. Now, a lot of the 15 years are no longer on the shelves, but not all of them. There are 15-year-old store picks out there available, and if you see one, you should grab 2 bottles because they are fantastic, number 1. Number 2, they are disappearing. The Knob Creek store picks are becoming a rarer and rarer species when it comes to old picks. This is the same kind of thing that happened with Four Roses before they blew up. Four Roses was releasing 13, 14, 15-year-old, even 16-year-old store picks. And suddenly they didn't have that many whiskey bottles or barrels left in reserve. And now the store picks are 8, 9 years. That's what's going to happen, and it's already starting to happen with Knob Creek. Now, you can still find pretty easily some 12, 13, 14-year picks, but mark my words, it's going to be harder to find, and very soon you're going to see a cut back to the 9-year pick. A lot more 9-year store picks of Knob Creek are going to be coming out in the future. Now, there's nothing wrong with a 9-year-old Knob Creek, but these 15s are just gorgeous whiskeys.
And you just spilled some.
I didn't.
You did. I watched it fly across the table.
No, I didn't. It's not on the table. Let's go ahead and drink some.
Ben says Austin is crazy too. Texas had weird liquor laws that doesn't help things. Trevor says, yeah, Ben, I'm from Ohio and liquor controlled, so I feel ya on the weird laws. MD says Texas and Ohio have slim pickings too. Damn, wouldn't have thought.
Yeah, Ohio. So in Texas, you can get some good Weller products.
Oh, that was way more than I meant to. Sorry.
Yeah, so there are a couple things you can get better in Texas or in Ohio than other places. Ohio has more Weller, and Texas has more Weller than average. Texas also is blessed with a pretty solid craft market. There's a lot of really good whiskeys that are in the craft world. Balcones, for example, is well thought of. If you like the Whiskey Tube World, Whiskey Tribe members, Crowded Barrel is out there. There's several others that I'm not going to bother naming.
Trevor also says, plus now Knob Creek has a standard 12-year out, which will take away from those picks.
That's exactly right, Trevor. So the 15-year standard's out, the 9-year standard's out, the 12-year standard is out. They're going to be reducing their picks and going younger to keep demand, or to keep supply with demand. So old, I mean, I would say, honestly, if you get something over 12 years and older, I would buy it like that. Buy those store picks.
Ben says Weller SR, which no one wants.
Yeah, it's pretty simple
This
and
just
not
smells like
particularly
wood.
interesting.
I know you guys love my witty comments about how much I hate bourbon.
So I mean, this is very
Smells
oaky.
like a campfire.
This is very oaky for sure, but I think there's a really nice, deep, rich sweetness on this.
All I smell is wood.
Like I get butterscotch and honey.
I could maybe give you honey.
And definitely like a deep, like a creme brulee, like a burnt sugar.
Okay. I'll give you the burnt sugar.
I get a little bit of a nuttiness, a little bit
Nope.
of peanut. Like a sweet peanut, like a roasted peanut. Honey roasted peanuts, actually. That's right on point. We got
Buddha
Buddha's 829. Hey everyone. MD says, I heard about the Ohio Weller flood. What the hell? But what the fuck? Buffalo Trace messing with the market like that. They're trying to get people hooked. Yeah, man. It's you gotta hook them, and you gotta hook them young when you can. They won't ever say that, but I know they do stuff like that.
You do that too, Mr. TikTok.
Hey, kids gotta learn when they're 21. You want your 21-year-olds drinking BS like Kessler's that's mostly vodka? No. Go spend $10 on JTS Brown like an adult who's broke. I got a bottle in the kitchen. No shame in my game.
MD says, yep, whiskey is heroin.
It's certainly tasty. I don't know about, I wouldn't recommend putting it in your veins.
My fancy vodka is pretty tasty too.
I wouldn't snort it either.
No, I wouldn't have done either of those things with vodka either. But it's better than Smirnoff.
Yeah, she doesn't like it. So it's pretty oaky. But I don't think it's over oaked. I think there's a lot of good, interesting flavors, and it changes a lot on the palate for me too. This pick is not my favorite pick. It's a good pick, but not my favorite pick.
It tastes like I'm chewing on a wood chip.
Nah. I'll get you some stuff later after we're done with this that'll taste like chewing on a wood chip so you can see the difference.
I don't want... Trevor, yes. My face is great because it gives everything away. I can't lie.
Yeah, she has no poker face. She can't play poker.
I don't even understand poker. So you're right. He's tried to teach me so many times in the 16 years we've known each other. I remember sitting in his basement when we were teenagers and him trying to explain one at a time poker to me, and it just never stuck. And it's probably for the best because everyone would just take my money and run. Ben says some liquor stores went for higher aged picks just to say they got 14-plus-year-old picks. Sometimes bourbon doesn't need those extra years. And here he is eating on stream again. You scared away 2 viewers. Oh, 3 viewers. Trevor says if Nate was here, he would have said that's how I love my whiskey, like chewing on an oak stave.
That's true. Ben, you make a really good point. And I won't say that every Knob Creek pick of any age is really good. You have to know the people that are picking it. And anytime I recommend a store pick, I recommend store picks based on the palate that you know and understand. So if you know that there's a store that isn't picking based on taste, it's picking based on an age statement, don't go with them. Avoid them like the plague. Because this bad boy is a good whiskey. Because, and it's, you know, maybe it would be better at a different age. I'm not sure. But I think this one does damn fine at 15 years. And I think Ben brings up a good point, too, that there's always a buyer beware component with store picks and private barrels. Because people pick things for different reasons. And unfortunately, there's some shady reasons people pick things. But I only anymore buy store picks from places I know that I'm familiar with and that I trust. Now, Yolanda has some real nonsense happening just off screen here.
I'm just trying to prep you because we're only an hour in and you only have one bottle left. Trying to give you other shit to talk about because we know how you like to talk.
She's like bowing down to almost the floor off screen. So this is a mini whiskey barrel. You can see how big it is compared to my head. I'm not sure if that means I have a huge head or it's a small barrel, maybe a little both.
I mean, it's both. You have a giant.
It's got a lot of evaporation. We're going to taste that after I finish my
Countdown.
sixth pour, which is number 5 in the countdown. This one isn't in the countdown. The rare breed is just for fun.
You didn't tell anyone that until after the fact when I called you out for having 6 bottles on the table.
On the table, baby. You're shaking the camera.
Says the man who's been like this the whole stream.
I'm watching the camera shake. I'm trying to avoid giving our viewers, not vertigo, motion sickness. Anyway. I think, you know, yes, it can be over oak, but this particular Knob Creek is not.
I just don't like the woody ones.
Yeah, she doesn't like the oakier whiskeys. If you do like an oakier whiskey, Knob Creek 15 is right in your alley.
I mean, I don't really like any of them. But there are ones that I will drink over.
Last but not least.
Your new favorite Indiana distillery.
Old 55. Why are these labels white and they're having a hard time with the lighting?
It's because of our bright as fuck lights.
Old 55. Oh, I'm just smearing all over this bottle. This is my own pick that I did in partnership with Indiana Bourbon. There's the fun label. There's my signature.
Maybe it's good that it's just your signature you're smearing.
Yeah. But this is 55.4%. Old 55 is a young distillery. It doesn't have huge distribution yet. It's coming. But they are making corn whiskey. One of the things I think they're most known for is their sweet corn. They make an Indiana sweet corn whiskey, which is really unique. It's almost like corn brandy.
That sounds delicious. Why haven't I tried it yet?
I think you have tried it and you hated it. So, but it's a really interesting pour. I don't know. But they do lots of really good store picks. This is, I think, a 4 or 5 year old bottle. It's not age stated on this particular bottle, but I think it was 4.5 years. But they just make really interesting, fantastic whiskey, and I think their distribution is growing rapidly. Once they get to your area, I absolutely recommend you get yourself some Old 55. Man, it is so bright. There it is.
We tried a new light situation. We failed. We will be moving to our old light situation next stream. Sorry about that. Trevor said, nope. Never mind. Nope, there's no new comments. They've all just been listening to your face.
Yep. So this particular whiskey is 80% corn and 20% red winter wheat.
Pour me, Eddie.
I'm going to let you pour your own.
You're a terrible gentleman.
Uh-huh.
Also, MD says LOL.
Yeah, I saw. Hey, don't hit me on the stream.
I flicked you. Those are different things.
Well, I'll flick you back, so don't hit me on the stream.
I didn't hit you. D. Brown says, are you buying Early Times bottle and bond while you can?
You know, D. Brown, I bought a bottle of Early Times before they changed over to the new company. For those of you who don't know, Early Times, the brand got bought out by a different parent company, and there's concern they're going to change things about the product. I really didn't care for the regular Early Times. I've got a bottle of it in there still, I think, and it just isn't for me. It's just not for me. So I think if you like Early Times, absolutely get it now. But it just wasn't for my profile. It wasn't on my palate list. So.
But mellow corn you thought was on your profile.
I like mellow corn in certain circumstances. But it's hard to beat JTS Brown when it comes to budget whiskey. I can get a fifth of that for $10. Can't beat it.
And you only knew that because you did all your budgets side by side.
Yeah, I did a blind. It was blind, too. You helped me set it up blind. Another stream I've got out there somewhere was a blind side by side of 8, I think, different bottled and bond budget whiskeys. All American, obviously.
And he's shit-faced by the end of it. If you
was
like
I shit-faced on that? I don't think I was.
Anytime you do more than like 6, you're pretty gone.
Now, this one, to me, it's just beautifully sweet, almost bubble gum. It's like a mixture of like bubble gum and farm, which is a
bubble gum and farm.
Yeah, it's like being in a barn chewing on bubble yum.
Have you ever been in a barn with cows or pigs? Because
well, there's not animals in the barn shitting with you. It's just you're in the barn area. It's like a grain storage area.
So you're in a grain silo.
No, you're in a barn. Shut up.
Barns don't hold grain.
Look what happened. This is your fault.
How is that my fault? Barns hold animals or hay. Occasionally like tobacco, but never grain.
I actually do get kind of a tobacco note on this. It's very like oh, good question. JW Dant. So JW Dant, I think, finished 4th or 5th for me in my we put grain in our barn once.
Dot.
JW Dant in the bottled and bond in the blind. I think it finished 4th or 5th for me. You have to check out the video to be sure.
I smell cotton candy.
Yeah, there's definitely a cotton candy vibe to this for sure.
So I wouldn't say barn.
But it's like bubble gum or cotton candy. It's like the next to this interesting barnyard note.
County fair.
Okay, yeah, I can see that. So you're at the county fair and you're at the bubble gum cotton candy stand. You went to the state fair.
It has that like fresh air component, which I think is what he means by being in a barn. Which for someone who's never lived in the country, he doesn't understand what the smell of a barn is.
She acts like I don't know anything about the country life. I was not in the country myself, but a lot of my family was, and I was in the country relatively often.
Trevor says, boom, same thought. What now?
You're a mean drunk.
I'm not mean or drunk.
Lies. It's definitely cotton candy vibes.
It's like a fresh air mixed with like a grain component mixed with like that sweet component. So I would see like being at a county fair or a state fair, but nowhere near the barns.
I feel like you're less than 500 feet away from the animal area.
No. You don't want anything to smell like barns.
I'm not saying you want to. I'm just being real with the people.
But it doesn't smell like manure, and that's what
No, but it doesn't smell like manure. No, it's not manure. It's just like...
It smells like hay.
Yes.
It smells like sweet hay. Like
yes.
Like,
yeah,
it smells like alfalfa hay.
Yeah, it's like bubble gum,
Talk
cotton
about that
candy.
Deep country note.
Bubble gum, cotton candy, and then hay.
It smells
and then
like
fresh
alfalfa.
air.
Specifically alfalfa hay.
Ah, yes, from the eastern region of southern Indiana. That's where the good alfalfa hay.
Central South.
Oh God! 1,000 pardons, madam. I terribly.
Nowhere near the east side.
I deeply apologize.
I would take west, south, and central.
Deeply
south,
apologize for
east.
misidentifying the region of the Hoosier that you are. Let's go ahead and give this a taste, shall we?
I did grow up on a farm, unlike this guy.
That's good.
It tastes like caramel corn.
Mm-hmm.
But that's really the only note I'm getting.
I get caramel corn. More caramel corn. And then like
almost like a burnt caramel corn.
a little bit of wood, a little bit of that char.
I think that's
finish.
why I'm saying like burnt caramel corn.
You get a little bit of that oaky char at the finish.
We just lost so many people arguing about a barn.
Yelling at me the whole time. People are gonna leave when you start berating me.
I mean, you're the one that grew up in the suburbs as a rich kid and seemed to think you know what a barn is like.
Oh boy, here we go. Not a rich kid.
Way richer than I was.
Well, I wasn't,
Watch it.
Yeah, I'll just hold my tongue on that
You
one.
probably should.
I wasn't a poor farmer. A poor.
Now who's shaking the table?
Poor immigrant farmer.
I
know you weren't an immigrant. I'm just giving you shit.
Not an immigrant. Grew up on a farm with my very white mother.
Yeah. Okay. Most significant Dusties you've tried. I don't have money for them, but I hope to invest in them one day. MD.
He doesn't have money for them either. He's just very lucky.
Well, I have very generous friends and fans. MD, I think the most significant Dusties I've tried, 70s turkey, 70s wild turkey has got to be in there.
D. Brown, I would read your comment to him, but I don't know what a lot of those acronyms mean.
We'll come back to that in a minute. Let me finish up with MD's comment. So the wild turkey Dusty from the 70s definitely got to be on that list. The Old Crow chessmen, like I just did a video on that referencing
with the unicorn rainbows.
Yeah, with the unicorn rainbows. That was my most recent video, I believe, actually.
Mm-hmm.
That Old Crow chessman was amazing. And I came into that skeptical. I came into it wanting to not like it. And I still was blown away by it. What else? Significant Dusties that I've tried.
Ancient Age?
I have done a video on the Ancient Age.
You didn't like it?
It's okay. It's not going to blow you out of the water.
How many Dusties have you done? He's done some Dusties that didn't make it to video.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what those would have been.
Mostly because when you meet people in the whiskey community, from my understanding, because I'm only a part of the whiskey community because of this bald guy, you tend to share bottles with people, and there's not always a camera, so he's tried quite a few Dusties that never made it to camera. Yeah,
I've tried some older whiskeys that I wouldn't consider Dusties, generally because like they've just have been around for a long time. They have super age on them, where the barrel might have been a Dusty, but the release was relatively recent. That's happened a couple of times. Man, that's a good question. Oh, I just thought of one. That was such a good one. So shout out Tracy Smith. Tracy had an old bottle
went to school
of
with your daughter.
We did. Tracy had it, which is a little odd, but it was fun to drink with her. She's a cool lady, man. Eagle Rare 10, the old Eagle Rare bottle. I think it was from the 80s. The old school Eagle Rare. Wow. It kicked the pants off of modern Eagle Rare. It kicked the pants off modern Eagle Rare 17 year. It was unbelievable. That blew my mind. D. Brown asked if I picked up a few bottles of the Elijah Craig Barrel Proof C920.
Oh, that's what all that means.
Yeah. I have a bottle of it. Or no, I have a sample of it. I don't have a bottle of it. A120 was not my jam, Trev. MD says, oh, yeah, they got that at the bar here. I don't want to pay for it. Yeah, man, I don't blame you. It's expensive as all hell. Boy, it was good. Oh, it just really hit the spot. And I can't honestly recommend MD that you pay for it on that extra markup, because if memory serves me, it's actually still a single barrel. And the reason they don't label it as such is because it's pushed through so fast in their tubes and their system that they don't rinse between barrels. And so barrels can mix, and technically they can't label it as a single barrel. So it's basically a single barrel, but it's not technically, and so they don't label it as such. Now that could be a bullshit story that Harlan Wheatley is making up from Buffalo Trace, but I don't think it is. And I also don't know how that affects the old Eagle Rare. That's a relatively recent story. And those old Seagrams were absolutely fire.
Oh yeah, you tried a bunch of, I guess technically they're Dusties for our Halloween stream.
That's true. Oh, a couple of those were pretty solid too. The Halloween stream where I drank random minis we're pretty solid.
Which we can still have around here somewhere.
Yeah, D Brown. I'm actually pretty surprised too that they've kept the ER at 10 years. I think it's a smart move, but it's a hard move to maintain. Yeah, because everything is losing age statements now. They're just gonna have to jack the price up. MD, the benchmark. I had the 70s benchmark and talk about last time was pure velvet. Yeah, the old benchmarks can be really solid. I think I've had one of them. I don't think I've done a video on it, but yeah, that's a video I'd love to do. Would be an old dusty benchmark and compared to the new benchmark since it's been brought back. That'd be cool. Okay, well I've tried all 6 of my 5 bottles to buy now. And now we're gonna break into something that's pretty fun.
Basically, you just couldn't decide an hour before the stream.
MD said I did do a vid. Well, that's good. I'm glad you remember the videos I've done because I sure clearly don't. Yeah.
Aw, it's okay.
Maybe I guess I did a video at Benchmark.
No.
I think I am.
Normally, I know the videos because I do the thumbnails, not because I watch them.
Well, yeah. Okay.
I subscribe though. If you like this, subscribe.
I did not see Buffalo Trace adding an age statement. So this is the barrel.
With love from his parents.
Yeah, my parents got this for Christmas. Thanks, Mom and Dad. I know they're not watching. They're watching the Purdue game. That's fine.
Why are they watching the Purdue game?
Because they both are Purdue grads.
And their son went to IU?
Yeah.
I'm sure that went over well.
It was fun.
Trevor says you go in and drink it straight from the barrel. Yes, he is.
I mean, I'm not going to put my mouth up to the barrel if that's what you're asking. I hope to reuse this.
I mean, it wasn't fresh still.
Oh boy, this is taking a real note. This is taking an interesting turn here.
Adam says, pretty sure I had to try a 78 benchmark my buddy had was pretty tasty. Much agreed. My same buddy had 84 Eagle Rare 101.
And he's wanting to sell it to me. Oh man, I would consider buying it. Adam, it's a good bottle. It's a good bottle.
All right, let's try your.
So let me explain what this is. Well, why don't you give them a little bit of a preamble and I'll grab the bottle.
So 3 months before Christmas, because that's how his parents are, reached out to me and asked me what size mini barrel to get him. And we live in a relatively small house in the city. It's a gun shop Victorian, so it's pretty small. Because they originally wanted to get him something much, much larger. And so I suggested the smallest they could buy. They did not go with the smallest they could buy. They went up 1 or 2 sizes.
Which I'm not mad about. I'm perfectly happy
No,
with that.
this is a perfect size. It fits in our kitchen.
3 liters. 3 liters if you're curious. And it is 100% white oak, white American oak that has been charred. So this is the first batch. This is the first fill on the fresh char. I had to go through a process to get the barrel watertight, to get some of the actual chunks of oak out, which you don't have to do technically, but it's easier.
And so he threw a bunch of shit in there that he didn't want to finish the bottles of.
So let me show you everything that's in this barrel. Now the percentages are a mystery. I just finished bottles into the barrel.
Because he didn't ask me about it before he did it.
So this is kind of fun. It's kind of fun because there's a lot of stuff going on in this barrel. So Koval.
You're going to have to just read them because
this is a Koval 100% wheat whiskey from Chicago. It's 100% wheat, special edition. Matter of fact, big shout out. I don't remember who all went in on this. I think it was a couple of former coworkers. I think Winston went in on this.
Oh, I love Winston.
Yeah, shout out to Winston. I'm sure he's not watching this.
Oh, definitely not.
But I think Winston went in on this, and I think who else went in on this?
Did Jessica?
Maybe Jess. Are you trying to lighten the? Don't do that because it's gonna make it too dark. Yolanda is putting tissue paper over the LED lights. See, that's why I didn't want you to do that, baby. And don't break my cord.
Anyway, now maybe we won't wash out the bottles when you try to put them in front.
All right. Anyway,
D. Brown says I would use Buffalo Trace White Dog in a mini barrel.
I would love to do that, but you can only buy them in 375s. It'd be quite expensive to get 3 liters of that stuff. But I would love to do it nonetheless. Drew. I think Drew also helped get this one. So shout out to those guys for this gift. This was former patron Matt Gant. He gave me this bottle of Ohio Applejack from Sycamore.
D Brown says ball out.
Heck yeah, man. Let's see. I've also got Spirit L. Lee W. Sinclair, the 4-grain bourbon. This is bourbon with corn, wheat, oats, and barley. So it's the second wheater and the first with oats. Not the last with oats, though. This is High West Silver 100% oat whiskey. So, I'm sorry, not 100%. It's 85% oats, 15% barley.
Very small amounts. There was like this much in some of those bottles.
Old Tub needs no introduction.
You did a whole video on its introduction.
Wax Dips. This is a custom label, but it's just 2-year-old weeded. You're into balling out. This is just 2-year-old MGP. That's what this is. The 45% wheat mash bill. And finally, so you've seen almost everything in this barrel except Old Forester 1920. So it's quite an interesting blend of 7 different whiskeys. I put those in the mini barrel maybe 10, maybe 12 days ago.
I feel like it was longer than that.
May have been longer than that, but the smell on this right now,
I'd say like 2.5 weeks.
it's beautiful. It's beautifully oaky. Do you want to smell this?
Well, I have cleaned my glass out if you want to give me just a nip.
Yeah.
I don't want much.
Trevor says a lot of weeders.
Yeah, it's got
I can't get this to work. Why can't?
I'll show you how it works. So you put the bottle down, put this there.
What I was doing, I was just trying to hold it while I was doing it. Thanks.
Okay. So yeah, it's got a lot of wheaters and it's got a lot of oats, which is unusual. It's a very unusual blend of whiskeys. But boy, it's
He hasn't tried this in about a week and a half.
I really like the nose on it though. It's definitely sweet. It's sweet and grainy, which is usually not always my jam, but I feel like it's kind of it's kind of breakfasty almost.
It smells like an oatmeal cookie.
Yeah, it's got like an oatmeal cookie vibe.
I wouldn't say breakfast vibe, unless you're talking about like maybe oatmeal.
I was thinking like cinnamon sugar. I'm thinking like oatmeal with like cinnamon and raisins and brown sugar. It's got like a whole oatmeal vibe.
Mini wheats.
I can see frosted mini wheats. Yeah, it's breakfast of champions. All right, let's give this a taste.
Matt says, was the Applejack apple brandy?
No, it's actually whiskey. I don't really know why it's called Applejack because I believe it's whiskey. At least I think it is.
I'll look it up.
It says whiskey on it.
Oh, Nate's here! Nate, you need to go rewatch the first hour and a half of this because
It's from Sycamore Whiskeys.
Because Drink Pro here has a task for you.
Nah,
so
you're fine. Do your own thing.
go rewatch the first hour and a half at some point.
He can do what he wants.
Really, just like the first 45 minutes if you don't want to be invested in that first hour and a half.
So I feel like that really mellowed it out. Which, I'm getting a little bit of an oak flavor now. It's starting to turn a little bit, but it's very fresh oak. I may have to add something to it.
It's very woody.
Yeah, it's definitely gotten very woody very quickly. And it's also mellowed out a lot in a way that I don't really love, to be honest with you. The blend I thought was really solid. But this may be a good lesson for you guys if you ever get one of these small barrels. Recognize first off, how quickly they change the profile on whiskey.
Yeah.
Very fast.
Maybe like a week ago, he said like, oh, this is almost done.
Yeah, and I should have taken it out probably as soon as I got back from my weekend trip.
Aren't you glad I made you try it?
Yeah. I'm going to have to add something to it. I think that's the answer.
It sat there. It probably would have sat there another week had I not made him try it.
Probably. It's not bad. It's just, and this is the other thing too, is that you got to remember. There you go, Joe. So you have to remember this about aging whiskey in wood. So whiskey in oak relies on changes in temperatures to make the wood breathe. The wood will soak in the whiskey into the wood, and then it will push it out. And so what you need is those changes in temperature, the hots and the colds, to make that breathing happen. And because this hasn't been doing that, all that's been happening is the whiskey's essentially been making contact with that first level, that charred level. What does that mean? Well, it goes back a little bit. And earlier in the stream, I mentioned the sort of 3 different levels. You have the charred level, which is basically like charcoal. It mellows the whiskey. Second level, it's going to give you the sweet vanilla caramel vibes. The third level will give you the oak. And so deeper breaths will give you different profiles. So think about Kentucky whiskey. It goes deep fast. It doesn't sit at that middle level very long. So you're going to get an oakier profile and may have a harder time getting those vanillins in your young whiskey. Whereas if you look at something like Scotland, where the temperature changes are very small, you're going to get a lot more of the dark fruits, of the sweet vanilla and caramel vibes, and the even sometimes citrus vibes. But you're not going to get to that super oaky component, and you're not going to get to the super dark sugar, brown sugar sweetness component either.
Funny you should mention caramel. MD says, bold statement, Kentucky Spirit is the only bourbon I've ever tasted actual caramel note. On any other caramel description people reference on bourbon isn't really even caramel, but similar.
Yeah, I've had a couple of whiskeys that were very prominently butterscotch. I think a lot of people mistake butterscotch and caramel because they think of like Werther's Original as a caramel, and it's not. I think there are other whiskeys with caramel as a note, but you have to also think about what caramel means because there are different reference points for caramel. Caramel can be a caramel chew, or it can be something like basically burnt sugar. Caramel is basically burnt sugar.
When I think caramel, I think burnt sugar and butter.
Right. And I think that's a note that doesn't resonate with your palate in the same way as a caramel chew. That is probably what you're thinking of. If I had to guess, MD, that's what I would say.
Nate, what are we waiting for?
I'm not waiting for Nate. D. Brown, have you tried the oak spiral kits? I haven't, but...
Is this your last hurrah?
Uh-oh. Ow.
He just said uh-oh and then ow. MD says caramel chew equals golden taste. Nate says Werther's Original is 100% caramel. Buddha's 8229 says Woodford Reserve Double Oaked is very butterscotch forward for me.
I would agree with Buddha on that one. Werther's is sort of a kind of...
It's a butterscotch, Nate.
Sorry, buddy. So this is to D. Brown. I haven't had the oak spiral kits. I do want to get one, but Oak and Eden, I did a review on of them recently. I got a sample from one of my patrons. Actually, I think it might have been Mike. I think it might have been Mike who should be in the chat here. I like the one. I like this so much, I bought a whole bottle of it. The Oak and Eden, let me finish. This Oak and Eden Whiskey Inspire, they put a big, fat, freaking oak spiral in it. It's basically MGP that's been aged with an oak spiral. So I think there's a lot of hope for oak spirals. I want to try one out myself in the near future.
Nate says no, it's on the package. Caramel, LOL. And then Trevor says Nate is always right. Don't argue with him. And then Nate says, shut your damn mouth, Trevor. And then Nate says, LOL.
I'll be glad Nate's here.
Nate, honey, no. It's butterscotch. I don't care the shit what their advertising department put on the label.
Uh-huh.
Having worked in advertising, a lot of it's bullshit.
Uh-huh.
Don't fire me.
Yeah. Give her a raise.
Please.
Please give Yolanda a raise.
Really appreciate it.
If you give her a raise, she'll stop saying things like that on live streams.
Believe everything you read in advertising.
That's right. Ads are here to help you learn what you didn't know you need, but you do need. Because that's how you fill the hole in your heart, is with things. Stop trying to feel better through meditation or that point in the night.
Do I need to get you more friend rides?
Nope. I actually feel fine. I'm just a little clumsy. Nothing broke. We're fine. Usually about hour one, once we get 90 minutes in.
To anyone who doesn't know, we do these live streams on our glass dining room table.
And there are a lot of glasses sitting around.
Yes, and there's glassware involved in most of this. So anytime something gets knocked over, it sounds like a detrimental thing.
Yeah, it sounds terrible when that was actually just the Oak and Spire bottle hitting the top of one of the Glencairn. So everything's fine. But this is just a beautiful whiskey. You want to smell it? You want to try this? I don't know if you've had this.
Let me rinse that.
Go for it. I mean, I was super impressed with this. I do think it was Mike McAllister that sent me this. The video's floating around out there somewhere. I did their Oak and Spire. No, sorry. I did their wheat. Excuse me. I did their wheat and Spire and their bourbon and Spire. Spire, obviously, is the spiral piece of wood. But the bourbon and Spire needed some time, needed some work. But this wheat and Spire
is.
I'm not sure.
It's an architectural element.
Okay.
Often a giant antenna thing that's on the top of buildings.
Well, there you go. Oh, that's right. I did know that.
Not a spiral.
I did know what a spire was.
It's a giant pointy thing in the air.
It's named Wheat and Spire.
Well, then it's a giant pointy thing.
Spire Select. Well, that is a giant pointy thing. It just happens to be spiral cut.
Oh, I didn't even see that.
Yeah, there's wood in this freaking bottle.
Why would you ruin good whiskey, though?
It doesn't ruin it.
I don't like the smell of it.
You don't like the smell of anything.
Yeah, you're right. I definitely don't like the smell
Omar,
of you.
hi, guys. Sometimes if I don't like the taste of a whiskey, I will blend it with another one. I do like to change the flavor. Is that a sin? What is your opinions?
No.
That's a great question, Omar. I'm very glad that you asked that.
He just put 6 whiskeys in a barrel.
Yeah, I just put 6 whiskeys in a barrel. But I think more importantly, I think blending whiskey is a really great way to play with flavors. And
don't you have a video on that?
I do, yes. One of my live streams is about blending whiskeys. The live stream about blending whiskeys, actually, I did that exact thing, Omar. You should check that out because I didn't particularly care for the Caribbean rum version of Basil Hayden. And so I blended it with a bunch of different other whiskeys. Matter of fact, some of the people in this chat were able to taste that. If you are a part of the Patreon at the $12 level, the most recent tasting that I sent out a call for included that blend. So there's another one coming up soon. You should join the Patreon at the $12 level, and you too can try some crazy whiskey. I might even include some whiskey from this barrel. Who knows? What do you think about the smell of this Oak and Eden? That's the name of it. I keep saying Oak and Spire, but the version is Wheat and Spire, Bourbon and Spire, but the brand is Oak and Eden.
There are no notes that are definitive to me. Also, I got lost in thought about how I tricked you into thinking rum was bourbon.
Oh, yeah,
in your last flight.
There are some really good rums out there. I want to do a couple of videos on rums, especially Foursquare rum. I don't know if you guys are into rum or curious about rum. If you're rum curious, check out Foursquare. It is phenomenal.
It smells like fresh apples.
Matter of fact, Tab25, I don't know if he's in the stream or not, but Tab25 turned me on to some really fantastic rums. So big shout out to him.
Thank you, Nate, for saying yes. Join at the $12 level. It's the best value. I mean, if you have the means to join above that, go for it.
Join where you can. Anything helps. If you can't join above $3, that helps too. Like any amount helps so much. And
or
$3
buy merch.
Or buy merch.
It's a one-time.
Yeah. However you're able to support the channel.
And these shirts help out not only us but an independent artist.
Yeah, Kyle Thye gets profit sharing.
Kyle T.
I keep saying I'm sorry.
It's
Kyle
spelled
T. I said T initially. Curious and Foursquare, but it is $92. It's worth it. I hate to say it, but I think it's worth it.
I smell apples.
Kyle T gets profit sharing for these designs that he did. They're fantastic.
Yes, so it doesn't just help us, but it helps an indie artist. I smell apples and lard.
Ooh, that's a good note. I do get that lard vibe, and I like it. You probably don't.
It's not butter. It's specifically lard.
No, it's animal fat.
But I'm not one to cook with like lard or Crisco. I only do baking with
Akeem Dream is here. He said, "Hey, what up, man? I met you at Vine Table. Didn't know you had a channel. Here I am, my friend. I have a channel. I'm making content best I can. Thanks. I'm glad you could join."
Well, that's certainly not the person that said, "Hey, it's the Drink Pro."
No. I now know that was Chad. Big shout out to Chad for letting me try some fantastic whiskey today.
Literally
Cheers,
today. If you are watching this. Yeah, no, I only bake with butter. So like this is not, it doesn't
Well,
smell.
taste it. The finish has got some lard vibes.
You didn't tell me we were tasting. You just jumped ahead. If I'm supposed to be doing stuff with you, why would you not tell me?
I just told you.
After you did it.
My bourbon journey. We got Scott in the chat. How's it going, my man?
I don't like it. Why is that so funny?
Because the way you said it. Are you 8? I don't like it. Don't like this one.
That wasn't even my little kid voice. That was just me talking.
Yeah, please don't do your little kid voice. Please, I beg of you, don't do the little kid voice.
Nate says, please. Every room Kyle walks into, he acts like a Kool-Aid man. Just says, "Hey, I'm the Drink Pro."
Well, now I've resorted to wearing a mask. I've got merch in the store, thedrinkpro.com. I've got a Drink Pro mask.
Steve Brown asks if bars are open there, and My Bourbon Journey says, "Cheers, brother and sister."
Yeah, My Bourbon Journey is Scott. He's good people. He had a really awesome live stream not too long ago, I think with 6 different people. It was epic. I couldn't catch it live because we were both sick, but I watched some of it this afternoon.
Oh, it was during the day where I probably lost like 10 pounds.
It was a bad day, but we're doing okay now. Akeem says, "Right on, dude. I was the guy that came in with a bottle." Oh, that was you. Okay, nice.
Oh, that was me sitting in the car night.
Yeah, that was. That's not my proudest moment. Yolanda was in the car during that whole thing.
So during that whole thing, I was sitting in the car with our dog when he told me he was going to be really quick. And you guys were all sitting there tasting.
I didn't know Akeem was going to be in there throwing around some serious bourbon.
Just so you know, Akeem.
He said you should have come in.
I couldn't. Our dog was in the car, and it was only
that dog would have been fine in the car.
It was only like 20 degrees outside. It was really cold that day. We own a miniature dachshund. She is not here right now because we were very, very sick earlier in the week, and my mother, who is a saint, came and got her for us because we couldn't take care of her the day we were sick. And we have not come and gotten her yet. We have not gone and gotten her yet. Any comments on that, sir?
I'm making sure that to remember that who Akeem was now, because he referenced it, and now I know who he is, and I put a face to the name, I'm writing down where I know him from. That's how I remembered that My Bourbon Journey was Scott. I mean, I have watched enough of his stuff now that that's become old hat, but like when I first meet somebody or run into somebody, like making those connections, I'm not usually great with names, and so I have to write it down or use some other sort of, device or technique to remember people, because I want to remember you guys, and you guys are always here to help and share, and I love it, but my brain is not always in agreement with my interests and my desires.
Also, to be fair, if it is a really good bottle, probably would be a waste on me.
That's probably true.
I'm being honest with myself and everyone that is watching.
I'm glad Carter Mayfield said that was a solid stream. That was a fun one. I'm glad you enjoyed that, my man. And Scott says, "Glad you're feeling better." I appreciate that, dude.
We appreciate that. I probably lost like 10 pounds in like a day.
Yeah, and I am hard to miss. You're right, Akeem Dream. I do have a recognizable face. And the glasses help too.
It's the glasses.
These are actually new glasses, but they're the exact same model, so they're just less likely to break now.
And he tends to get hit on with those glasses. By a very specific genre of woman.
I like this. Scott I repeat names. Kyle. That's a good technique. It's never worked for me. I'm not sure why.
Nate says, "Wait, y'all, we're sick." Yes.
On
Monday night. I was up literally all night and couldn't hold water down. It was fantastic.
Yeah, I felt unwell, but she got real legit sick. Were you sick, Nate? Because the way you asked that question makes me ask questions. So
I was sleeping on the floor of our bathroom until I got too cold that I had to move to our bed.
I do think it was food poisoning, though.
Akeem says, "Damn, you ate something bad." Yes, we think so. Nate also says nope to the "were you sick" comment.
Good.
Yes, we think so, and we think we know what the culprit was, but we're not 100% sure.
D Brown shouting Scott out. You're.
We think it was the guac he brought home from the trip.
I love dank. Nate's making fun of dank as a term. I love the term dank. That is my kind of lingo, man. I'm gonna drop this down a little bit. I don't know why it got so high up again. I want people to see all of this really dope shirt.
For some reason, your comment or your stream dropped like 3 comments.
I don't know.
Anyway.
Yeah, it definitely was food poisoning, Akeem, for sure.
We think it was the guac he brought home from the Whiskey Exchange / Boys Weekend. It was either that or his cooking. So let's chalk it up to the guac he brought home.
Kyle ate the crap out of that guac and cookies. The cookies. She didn't even know about the cookies. I ate the whole freaking batch.
You brought cookies without me?
Yes, and I crushed them. They were M&M chocolate chip cookies, and I got a 16-pack for $2.
I don't like M&M cookies.
And I ate all of them. It was obscene, and I was so happy.
That does sound like you. And I bet you ate them because you were a sore loser about some Madden.
I was a pretty sore loser about Madden. Nate watched that firsthand. Scott, I didn't even know what dank was. I'm old.
Nate, he called me on Saturday.
No, don't tell him that.
And said he wanted to come home because he lost Madden. He said he missed me and that he wished he was snuggling in bed because he lost at Madden.
I wish I had more whiskey to try so I could change the topic of conversation.
I mean, I can go grab you a blind.
Go grab me a blind. Go, yeah.
Do we have any glassware?
Here, I'll just rinse this out.
Do you want kitchen or office?
Kitchen.
Okay.
This dude was so pissed. I'm not a good loser. I'm really not. I don't lose well. I handle it poorly. Nate, also hand over your man card. Oh, Scott, I handed that over a long time ago. I'm pretty shameless about my about who I am. Yeah, there is something very primal about losing in video games that just gets deep under my skin. I was raised by a dad who was hyper competitive, who never let me win at anything, and nice guy, but if you compete against him in something, he is playing to win. And I was a little kid, it didn't matter. So you play to win, and I don't handle losing very well. I think in part because of it. Now, what in the hell did she just hand me? Look at the lightness on this color. What?
I pulled it from your whiskey collection. I promise I did not do any barware.
I know what this is. You guys ready for something fun? This is Glenlivet Founders Edition.
Is it?
I'm not even going to taste it. That's how confident I am. Is it not?
It is 100% not. It is not Glenlivet.
Oh, then this is the. Oh, okay, wait a minute. I didn't look. I didn't see it. She just told me it wasn't the Glenlivet. Hold on.
Not Glenlivet.
Real light refill bourbon.
Nate says, pro tip, if you ever play Kyle and Madden, be the Eagles and wear throwback jerseys. You'll thank me.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about this. So he beat me because he was wearing green jerseys on the green field and I'm colorblind and I couldn't see the players. And so I just kept throwing picks.
No wonder he wanted to come home. D. Brown says Scotch. MD says Glenlivet is the bomb. My bourbon journey says Irish.
Yeah, that's definitely not American bourbon. It could be a light American whiskey on like a refill, but that's definitely not bourbon. That's some sort of refill for sure. And it smells peaty, which made me initially go Scotch. But if she said it's not Glenlivet, then it could be. He
knows what's in our kitchen because there's only 3 places for me to pull from in the kitchen.
Yeah. It could be Irish, but I don't think so because of the peatiness. It could be Scotch, and it could be Japanese. I'm getting some...
Don't reveal until I come back.
Okay, we have to wait for the reveal. Hold. Stage hold.
Just keep smelling and tasting.
I wish I had some great secrets of Yolanda to reveal on the camera. Now that she's not here, but she's going to be back, I wish I had some real good dirt to give you guys, but I just don't. We're pretty open. Obviously, we're doing this on a live stream, so we don't keep a lot from each other or from anybody else for that matter. So, guess I'll just have to sit here and smell this whiskey. A real shame, I know. It almost smells a little bit like rubber, which kind of makes me think like either Campbelltown or Islay, Scotland. But I didn't think we had Scotch in there. I bet we have. I bet we have Japanese. Because of the way the kitchen is laid out, I bet there's a Japanese in there. So Japan does incorporate some peat. Typically, they do some peat, but not a ton. That's a pretty typical Japanese profile in my experience, is a hint of peat. They usually do blends. But this rubber note's really throwing me off. All right, let's give this a taste. That's got to be Japanese. Super light, floral. Oh, the finish is quite peaty. The finish is quite peaty. Yeah, campfire. It's like a rubber campfire. Campfire at a rubber plant.
Rubber campfire? Wait. Say that again. What did you say about a rubber plant?
I'll tell you in a minute. So I don't think it's Taketsuru, but it could be Nico.
But you said something about specific...
Campfire at a rubber plant.
Okay. Like, not the chlorophyll rubber plant.
No, like a manufacturing facility for rubber.
Okay.
For tires.
Because otherwise I was going to make you smell a rubber plant. Because we have those. In fact, we have at least 4 varieties.
This is the bottle that I bought from Sean. I can't think of the name of it. I know it's Japanese.
Sean, if you're here, shout out.
Yeah, shout out to Sean if he's on the stream. I don't think he is, but I bought this from Sean. Sean was doing a shelf clearing event for one. And I just went over there and bought a bunch of stuff from him because he was selling it for good prices, and he was like, "I'm not gonna finish that. You can buy it for this."
Did you already ask D Brown? Does Japan incorporate a lot of peat?
Yeah, I answered that question. Yep.
Mickey Mouse says, "What do you think of the U.S. Michter line?"
This is the Matsui, and it's peated. The Matsui peated at the Kurayoshi distillery. This is 48% alcohol. I think this is pretty solid. This is a good, if you like peated whiskey, this has got a lot going on. It's very sweet, and then it becomes fruity and floral, and then it moves into the peat. It's very well balanced.
Well, that answers Akeem Dream's question. Nice. I've seen that one on shelves. Don't know anything about it, though.
Yeah, I don't know enough about their history or the story behind it, but I think it's a pretty solid peated whiskey. If you like peated whiskey, you like fruity floral combos that lead into peat, this is a really great option. You're about to slam some Big Macs. No. It wouldn't be the first time, unfortunately. Let me answer Mickey Mouse's question, too. What do you think of the U.S. Michter line? I was actually really impressed with it. Because the U.S. Michter line, that's kind of their base line, and I was surprised how much I liked several of the whiskeys in that lineup. I think that my favorite, which one was my favorite? I was really impressed with the American, but I think all told, probably the bourbon was my favorite.
MD says, I don't need to get more into whiskeys than I already am. Leave Japanese out of the mix. Too overkill of a craft. Nate says, haha, D Brown, that'd be par for the course. Peter White, how much Japanese whiskey is in the Japanese whiskey? And Mickey Mouse just says, yum.
That's a great question. Unfortunately, Japan is pretty notorious for their not really above board labeling practices. You can get away with basically having no Japanese whiskey in the whiskey. Given how little information is on this bottle, I kind of expect there's very little Japanese whiskey made or in this whiskey. I think it's probably sourced from Scotland and blended in Japan, unfortunately. But I will say part of the reason that I identified it as Japanese, first off, because I know I don't have a lot of peated whiskey in the kitchen that isn't Japanese, but also because they have a specific palate they're aiming for. Any blender is going to have a specific profile they're trying to hit. And I feel like, personally, I find a lot of floral notes on Japanese whiskey that I don't typically find in Scotch. Now, there are single malts, there are specific distilleries in Scotland that have a much more floral profile. But my palate tends to find other things before floral in a lot of peated scotches. So if it had been a peated scotch that was very floral, that wasn't Japanese, I would have been rather surprised, specifically with my collection. But good question, Peter. I'm glad you brought that up.
I was gonna say, doesn't most Japanese whiskey lean towards Scotch?
So the major,
if not all of it.
So the major, short answer, yes, but long answer, Japanese profiles, yeah, there definitely are leaning floral for fruit. I agree.
Yeah, I was gonna
agree.
say, which is answering the questions in the chat.
And I think so. Yeah, most Japanese whiskeys lean towards Scotch, but also part of that is because the originators of Japanese whiskey came from a couple of, I think it was two people, and I wish I could remember their names. I should remember them, but I don't. But one of them went on to form the Nikka distillery. I know that much. Two major figures in Japanese whiskey, they went to Scotland for several years and apprenticed under Scotch distillers, came back to Japan and started picking up the processes and the trends in Japan. And so Japanese whiskey is an outgrowth in many ways of Scotch. Now, interestingly, Japan is a big market for bourbon. A lot of really tasty bourbon products are sell like hotcakes in Japan. Blanton's is owned by a Japanese company. They distill it at Buffalo Trace, but it's owned, the brand is owned by a Japanese company. So, Japan has a very interesting relationship with whiskey.
I do want to address D. Brown's Big Mac comment with the medication and changes in Kyle's life. We will no longer be doing large, big
McDonald's.
Well, we won't be doing McDonald's. We won't be doing Taco Bell, like the big mukbang things.
Yeah, if we're going to do a mukbang, it's going to be a healthier one than what I have typically done in the past.
Salad!
Yeah, oh boy, I'm so excited. You gotta roll with the punches, guys.
Peter White says Hibiki is true to the label from what I read.
I think that's true, Peter. There are a couple of, specifically Hibiki, I believe Yamazaki is as well. There are a couple of distilleries in Japan that are a lot more reputable. And like you said, Peter, they will give you more information on the label. Generally speaking, if I see a lot more information on a label, I'm a lot more willing and likely to rely on that distillery, because there are certain rules about what you can and can't put on a label. And so if you're saying something on a label that isn't true, you're going to get in trouble for it. But if you just don't say anything on a label, you can probably get away with it. So the fact that there's no information on this label, it doesn't say distilled in Japan anywhere. It just, oh wait, yes it does.
In the meantime, D. Brown says whiskey is better than McDonald's will ever be. Did you miss that earlier, dear?
I should read more. I'm not going to lie.
Yes. Every day.
There's some egg right here. Let me just try to get that off of my face really quickly. Got some egg on my face.
MD says bourbon is the most complex whiskey. Scotch is just a big, bright flavor exposition. Major complexities, no doubt, but not the same level of complexity.
It's a hot take, MD.
He's full of them tonight.
He is. I like it. He's throwing around some
big
opinions.
Questions.
I don't think I can agree.
Yeah, Nate says, I think Scotch lovers would disagree with that.
I'm not a Scotch lover. I just think that complex. I mean, and the thing you said was complexity, and that's where I have a problem with it, because I think Scotch, my experience with Scotch is that there's a lot more possibilities. the broadness and the breadth and the depth of different kinds of notes is much larger. I think the reality for me personally is a big portion of those notes are flavors or scents that I find unpleasant. And I like a peated whiskey, but there are still certain scents and notes and combinations that I don't like. And so I might have to say, like, yeah, that's a little bit too, too peaty, too something, too iodine forward for my palate. But it's hard for me to say that it's not more complex.
Mickey Mouse says, going to have to look for another mixer for my bourbon. Coke got political.
Well, everybody gets political at some point. What are you doing?
Your beard is curling towards your lips. Just trying to save you from yourself. Glenlivet 18 had 301 levels of complexity, but it wasn't clear, or it wasn't near as complex as just basic wild turkey, according to MD.
Well, I mean, that's your opinion. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion. I would disagree. That's all I can say. It's about, what you pull out.
He also says scotch is prettier.
Well, now I might disagree with that too. I mean, scotch is just a different animal. You just got to think about it differently. One of the things I would like to see a lot more of that I haven't seen enough of in America is American single malts. I would love to see growth in American whiskeys that are single malts, that are aged in used bourbon barrels. That would be cool to me, because then you can really see, like, if you take a scotch, if you take a single malt whiskey and you age it in Kentucky for 8 years and you age it in Scotland for 8 years and you do a side-by-side, I would love to see how that compares to people. Like, that to me is a fantastic, unique, interesting mix. Yeah, Carter Mayfield references Balcones. I know Balcones is doing some cool single malt stuff, but I want to see more of it. I would love to explore more areas in that world.
Peter White says Glenlivet 18 may not be a good comparison. Carter Mayfield says check out what?
Balcones.
Lineage.
I think he just misspelled it. Balcones lineage.
Okay. He also says Stranahan's is okay.
I haven't had a lot of experience with Stranahan's. From what I remember, I think okay is the word I would use as well. It was just kind of like, that's fine.
And then, Nate and I's lovely banter that always will exist.
No, I'm glad you guys.
D. Brown says American whiskey generally has a lot of room for growth.
Totally agree. I think American whiskey is set for some growth. And part of why I pointed out these whiskeys that I did, guys, like, part of why I'm referencing Old 55, part of why I'm referencing Obtainium. Well, Obtainium's a big distillery. Well, it's a small distillery that's sourcing a big distillery's whiskey. And, and Starlight, like, these are whiskeys that are growing rapidly, as they should. And so I think the growth in American whiskey we are right here for it. And as much as there's going to be a huge explosion in bourbon that continues to grow, and you know what, honestly, I think there might be a bubble at some point in the near future. Like, bourbon is going to pop. I don't think that means that all whiskey in America is going to pop. There's going to be a lot of room for other kinds of American whiskey, other local bourbons. That is, to me, where there's really going to be a unique and interesting future. MD says Buffalo Trace is a designer drug. That's about right. I would agree with that. I can't disagree with you there.
It's a solid vanilla.
Oh, so many bottles with this. Ooh, this must be that Starlight. I love this Starlight so much.
Yeah, that's the one you left 2 in a glass. You have several glasses that you've left things in the glass for.
Mm-hmm.
What a great top 5.
That was not the right. Side by side.
Did you just do the Starlight and then the Japanese peaty whiskey?
Yep.
Well, you have 2 other surprises. This one we know is your barrel. Here. But this one is a mystery. I'm not sure what that is.
Yeah, there's too much.
This one might be Obtainium.
There's too much fresh oak in that barrel. I got to find a way to get that out of there.
I think it's Old 55.
Yeah, that young wood got too prominent on my blend. I'm going to have to find a way to fix that. I may have to throw something super, super sweet in there.
My guess for this one is Old 55. You'll have to let me know. Peter White says bourbon has gone to big time finishing. Bardstown Foregate, Joseph Mangus, to name a few.
Magnus. But yeah, the finishing world in bourbon is huge right now. Trevor, I know, likes that. Trevor likes a finished bourbon, but I have mixed feelings about finishing bourbon. Ooh, I don't know. That smells really good.
I think it's Old 55.
What in the shit is that?
I don't know. You had
Smell
a bunch
that.
of empty glasses.
Smell that.
This smells delightful.
Do you like that?
I bet this is rare breed.
Man, it's just not hitting me right now.
Mickey Mouse says, what is the best Bookers in the last 2 years?
Oh.
You should go check out our previous live stream. It had, well, I wasn't involved, but there were like 14 Bookers or something.
Yeah,
like
I did actually a video of all the last couple of Bookers. You should definitely check that out, Mickey Mouse, which is a great name, by the way. Way to go, man. What an awesome YouTube name to have. I got to agree with Nate on Country Ham. I think Country Ham is my favorite Bookers in the last 2 years, 2019 and 2020.
D. Brown says, move it to your sherry barrel. Well,
honestly, that's a really good idea. I think if I bought,
sherry barrel.
but if I took this out of here and tanked it, aka just put it in the bottles, and then I went and got some sherry, inexpensive but tasty sherry, and sherried this barrel, I think D. Brown, was it D. Brown that recommended that? Was totally right. I think you're absolutely right. That needs to be done to this. I may have to do that.
Peter White also.
Peter, Little Book 3 might be Little Book 3.
It's not the same thing.
It's not.
It's not released under Bookers.
It is Bookers.
But the question.
It's Little Book.
The question was about Bookers.
I don't know. That's a tough one, guys. That's a tough one. All right, let me taste this. Let me figure out what this mystery one is. This hit my nose well. Oh, this is Knob Creek. This is Knob Creek.
You think?
Yeah.
Maybe this one's Old 55.
That's not
I originally said rare breed, but there's not a lot left in there.
This smells like burn.
No, it smelled good to me.
It smells like burnt rubber. What the hell was that? That was like, oh, that was the Obtainium.
That smelled good to me in a Glencairn, but smelled like garbage in a...
Yes.
What?
Yes, that was the Obtainium. Yep, because it's super fruity. It's the only one that I did that was super fruity. That was the Obtainium.
Smell the Obtainium out of a rock.
I did. It smelled worse.
It smelled so bad.
Yeah, the Obtainium in a Glen really works. That's the Old 50. Or that's the Knob Creek.
No, thank you.
No, it's too oaky for you. Old 55 root beer on the nose. Yeah, you can either get like root beer or caramel or bubble gum or cotton candy.
We had a whole debate about the
D. Brown, I'm ready for Booker's Rye. Yeah, well, you know, I've got a Booker's Rye sample in the back that I need to do a video with, I think. But
so many samples. I almost grabbed a sample and then I was like, I don't know which one of these is which, so I can't.
All the samples that are in the top right cabinet, this is good for you to know. Those are all I've already done videos with.
Top right cap, like above my stash.
The ones that aren't on the pull-out card.
Yeah, so above my stash.
That's top left.
Wait, so the one, try again, what?
Cabinet. Top left is the Island of Misfit Toys.
Sure.
Top right is Wild Turkey and samples.
Oh,
those samples.
Okay. Yeah, no, I was looking at the pullouts.
Yeah, the pullout samples, those are all off the table. Because I still am.
MD says Booker's Rye will never forget. Peter Brown says so is everybody.
I'm ready for Booker's Rye, so is everybody.
Nate says he just got like 25 samples this weekend. Just go grab him one for him. I can't because there's a backlog of samples and I don't know which one is which.
I mean, if you want to go grab one of the samples from this weekend, you can.
I don't know where they are.
You guys, okay.
You don't either.
All right. What are we skipping past, Gregory?
I'll just go grab another blind.
No, do that. You should do this. Grab one of the samples from the box.
What box?
The big box.
We have so many boxes.
The big box.
Is it
full
in
of
your
samples.
office?
I don't know.
I'll just go do another blind. Clean as glass. The Island of Misfit Toys. We just gonna skip past the Island of Misfit Toys. We've discussed the Island of Misfit Toys. It basically means that he doesn't know where to put them.
So, Yeah, Gregory, the Island of Misfit Toys is a cabinet that I put whiskey in that I don't really know what else to do with. Generally, it's whiskey that isn't my favorite. It's just sort of like, I want to keep this. It's not a drain pour. It doesn't fit anywhere. It doesn't make sense anywhere.
Maybe.
That's the box.
Any sample?
Yeah, just grab a random one. Just grab a random one.
Okay.
And just pour it. Bring the bottle with you. Don't pour all of it. Pour like half of it, so I have enough for a video if I need it.
Okay.
Yeah. So the JD Barrel Proof Rye. So this is the Jack Daniel's Special Release Rye. I did not care for it when I did a fresh pop on the stream, and then this past weekend we had a more open sample of it, and it was amazing. It did so well in our blend. You want me to clean another glass?
Yes. I want you to work on this one and clean another glass.
Gotta stay hydrated. All right. Ooh. Did you keep track of which one this is?
Yeah, it's in my pocket.
Ooh, it's very floral. I like the smell of that. You only poured me half of it?
I didn't even pour half.
Okay. Oh, God, that smells so good, guys. Holy crap. I mean, you all have been talking about it. I wonder if this is the JD's single barrel, the special edition barrel proof rye. D Brown asked, "What was wrong with the fresh crack?" And the fresh crack was just not particularly interesting. I think that was because I had already had several pours on that stream. Sorry for the earthquake, and also because I think it needed a chance to open up. Once it opened up, it just became really beautiful and just wonderful. Gregory says, y'all are so cool. This, what I'm smelling right now, is a mystery sample. This came from, I got together with a couple guys at an undisclosed location. And we tasted a lot of good whiskeys, and we brought home a lot of good samples. And this is one of those samples, but I don't know which one it is. Yolanda has poured it blind from the box of samples I pulled. Oh, yeah, Mike McAllister's got the Senator. He's going to try it soon. Let me know what you think about that, Mike. I'd be really curious. The Senator is a pretty well-known name in, I believe it's sourced whiskey, but I haven't tried it. I'm going to get the Muckety Muck. What you think? Get it. Get it. Gregory, I've got a video on the Muckety Muck. You should watch it. Somebody was giving me shit about it today because they said, "Oh, you didn't even taste it." Well, I cut out all of the times where I'd sip it and then go, it's so good. I cut most of that out of the video, so it doesn't look like I drink it at all. It looks like I taste it once, then I just talk about it for 5 minutes. But I just wanted to include all the notes because I sat there with that whiskey for so long. There was so much. Like, maybe I should do an unedited version of that at release at some point because it's been very popular and I really like that whiskey. And the amount of time I spent just oohing and awing over it is kind of hilarious.
I mean, he does that with.
I do that sometimes, but the Muckety Muck was a real winner. I already addressed the Senator. This is fantastic. I love the nose on this. Are these both samples from the trip?
No. So one pocket is a sample from the trip. The other pocket is a mystery bottle from the Halloween bucket.
It is an orphan barrel.
Go get another.
It is an orphan barrel product. It's one of the best orphan barrel products I've ever had, to be honest with you. All right, let's taste this. She really is. She really is, Nate. No one believes me, but she really is.
What did he say?
Nothing.
I mean, I'm gonna come read it.
There we go. That's better. I have to do adjustments periodically on these things. This thing is super floral on the nose.
I only hope that Nate called me a delight.
I'm sure he did. It's super floral on the nose. Well done, Nate. It's super floral on the nose. It's a little bit fruity, a little bit of like a grape note, a blackberry note, and an apple note. Trevor had to put the little one back to bed.
Don't worry, Trevor. You didn't miss anything.
Gregory says, I know 2 stores that carry it. They only have 2 in really rich neighborhoods. I think anyone knows about it. LOL.
Oh, fuck you, Nate.
Nate did the dirty delete. I also got a 25-year DeLord Armagnac, but never been those yet. Man, Mike McAllister, I have been wanting to try one of those Armagnacs. Those old Armagnacs. Ooh. Nate asked if this is a high proofer. I don't think so, but it might be a rye because it's
I literally just picked a bottle. I didn't even look at the little label.
Akeem says, how's the DeLord? I have not had the DeLord. It sounds like Michael hasn't either. I'm curious what Mike thinks about the DeLord Armagnac because
He's gonna say it's gonna try it this weekend though.
Let us know, man. Let us know.
Hey, for everyone else that was in the chat, please tell me what Nate said.
Don't tell her what Nate said.
I will never be on another stream. Ever. Ever.
So it's pretty perfume on the palate.
I'll leave now.
Honestly, it could be Jack Daniels. It could be a Jack Daniels rye, but it seems too like sweet for that.
Mickey Mouse, I don't believe you.
He said you were a nice lady.
I doubt that. Mike says he said asterisk.
She's a good sidekick. Don't leave. I agree.
Well then, Nate, stop being dirty.
He can't help it. He was telling me the first thing he does when he talks to people is ask them if they want to fuck his wife.
I'd fuck her. He never asked me. Just being honest.
Daggone it, YouTube censored me. Aw, shucks, Mike. Aw, shucks.
Akeem says, you try the Woodford Fine/Rare. It's surprisingly legit. Nate says, bah, ha, 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 ha. Lots of LOLs. Nate says, holy hell, what is happening?
Akeem, we have tried the Woodford Fine and Rare. I was really surprised how much I liked it. We actually tried that on the weekend. I wish I had bought a bottle of it. Probably, maybe. I don't know.
D. Brown says, what do you think about liquor stores making you open rare bottles at purchase to cut down on flipping?
I love it. I love it. I mean, I got to be honest. I love it because so today I bought a rare bottle and I offered to open it, but everybody around me had tasted it, so I didn't end up opening it, but I was happy to open it. I think that I understand the idea of not wanting to open it, even if you don't flip it, because you want to put it on the shelf and leave it there for a while or put it in the cellar or whatever. But if you're talking about a rare, like a really rare bottle, like BTAC and Pappy Rare, open that shit. Open it. Whiskey is meant to be drank and shared with your friends and your loved ones.
Mike says he tried to help me. I don't really believe you. And then Nate says he's all for opening the bottles.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a big believer in it. It's a great way to. What's up, buddy? We got Henry in the chat. How are you still vertical, bro? I'm so drink.
Solid. Mike says, D. Brown, this is an unpopular opinion, but I'm fine with limit 1 on all allocated.
I am too, to be honest, even though I know it is unpopular. I mean, you gotta. I hate to say it because I know I take advantage of this not being the case. But as much as it would pay me for it to be the case, I don't have a problem with spreading the love, allocated 1 bottle per. I think it makes sense. It will stop flippers.
So what is your guess on what you're drinking?
Hold on. We got several things going on in the chat. First off to Henry, I want to give a big shout out to Henry. I've got some cool bottles from him. I helped Henry out to get one of those JD barrel proof ryes. Yeah, I know. And so, that I appreciate that very much, man. And Henry's, I'm sure, drinking good shit because I know he does.
Mike Holiday says I have a little bit of.
Yeah, I can never save him either, Akeem. Mike McAllister says, D. Brown, this is an unpopular opinion, but fine with limit 1 allocated. Yep. Along with the store owner, I agree. Mike says, have a little bit of, oh, yeah, that's a 27-year-old
That's why
Armagnac.
I can read it out loud.
quite good. Beautiful peppery finish. G Brown, I'm in Oregon. We don't really get rare bottles. Henry, always open the good stuff. I always LOL when people say I need a backup first.
Yeah, that's ridiculous, isn't it? Like, why do you need a backup?
Joe Brown.
Come on, just open it and drink it.
Joe Brown said hard to share with friends because of COVID.
It's very
Gregory
true.
says I'm watching now with my friend Henry.
Hey, shout out. What's up, Henry? Wait a minute. Are you friends with Henry, who's in the chat as well?
Apparently. Nate says,
fuck a backup. Yes. Hakeem, fuck a backup. Drink it all day. I couldn't agree more, my man. Cheers.
Nate says, Joe, share with friends who don't have COVID.
Yeah. Honestly, I mean, getting tested is easier than it used to be.
Mike says, I only have doubles of a few bottles. The rest are all one.
Yep.
What did you think you had? Because this label and your handwriting is real funny.
I think it's a Four Roses. But I don't remember which. I couldn't tell you which pick.
Based on your handwriting, I'm gonna say it probably is a Four Roses.
Okay.
But it looks like it says Four Roses Gaze.
Yeah, it's the Gaze pick. Let me see it. Yeah, it's this is the Four Roses Gaze pick, Volume 5. Well, I'm happy to get the distillery right. It's so sweet and fruit forward. Yeah,
like the place.
Yeah,
not like the gaze.
Not like the sexual orientation.
Not like the gaze.
It's like this is the gaze pick. It's just for the gaze.
I don't think that's how that place is spelled. I suspect there's an E.
No, it's spelled like that.
Oh, well then my previous comment earlier today stands.
There's an apostrophe. It's gaze like.
My previous comment stands. Trevor just says Gaze is my local store.
Yeah, Trevor loves the Gaze.
Well, I do too, but different case.
All right, this is the nonsense that Yolanda picked from the.
Nate says, "Why would you take that sample? You have a bottle of it."
No, I don't have that version. I have 6, not 5. That's why.
That was version 5.
That was version 5.
Yeah. So this is nonsense I pulled out of the Halloween barrel. Don't worry, it's whiskey, I think.
Quick shout out to everyone who's in the whiskey.
Yeah, it's whiskey.
The whiskey and scotch enthusiast group. They kind of like took this symbol and kind of ran with it. Ironically, I don't think Yolanda had any connection with the whiskey and scotch enthusiast group.
I do not.
Whiskey bourbon was it WBSE, whiskey bourbon and scotch enthusiast.
This was a plant friend.
And like unrelated, she made this and Yolanda painted it.
My plant friend sent them.
It's a great little cap for whiskey glasses for Glencairns, but it just was funny to me to see those like really blow up at the same time Yolanda was making these for me.
He has 2 of them. Shout out to Katie.
Oh, this is sharp. Okay.
We love you, Katie.
Sharp and
Nate just says Gaze gives him all the bottles. Nate, can we mute Nate, please?
Not gonna happen.
We need to take away his wrench.
Mike McAllister said, I was just at that store.
Can we take away Nate's wrench?
Nope.
Nate has another message retracted.
He muted himself.
He muted myself.
Her phone gets these messages a lot faster than my
Mike McAllister says hashtag free Nate. And then Trevor asks why he muted himself.
Ooh, it smells. It tastes like dust. Oh no!
We're talking about some good old Dusties.
Well, that isn't dusty. It tastes like dust.
Should I try again from the?
No. What is this?
There you go.
No wonder it's garbage. It's Kessler's. Fucking Kessler's.
I made sure it was whiskey.
Only by the most strict legal definitions. This is more than 70% vodka, and I am not joking. Kessler's is blended whiskey. American blended whiskey, unlike blended scotch, which has to be 100% whiskey.
Should I try again?
American blended whiskey can be blended with neutral grain spirits, a.k.a. vodka. So this is probably between 60 and 70% vodka.
Gregor says, I really like y'all channel.
I'm glad you like it, Gregor. This nonsense is a lot of fun to do. But I do not like drinking grain spirits.
You drank all the good shit out of the bucket already. Don't tell me you're not.
Mickey Mouse dropping jokes. Why can't you tell a secret in a cornfield? Because there's too many ears listening. Something like that. By the way, save you guys a purchase. Skip Jepson's bourbon. I kind of figured I'd skip Jepson's bourbon.
Hey, Henry. We're jumping ahead. Vodka does not suck. I'm your vodka gal here. We don't diss the vodka, okay?
Why don't you tell them about your favorite vodka? They run to the restroom.
My favorite vodka is Dripping Springs from Dripping Springs, Texas. Shout out MD.
Was he the one?
I think that's Texas. MD, you're the one in Texas, right? Second favorite vodka is, I believe, Dutch. It's Belvedere. Some European shit. MD, that is not true. Vodka is worth the time. Dripping Springs from Dripping Springs, Texas. It's neutral, it's citrus. There's not a lot of, like, a true vodka is flavorless. Like, what you want out of a vodka is flavorless. That's not what I want. I want the ones that have slight nuances, citrus, a little freshness. I want something that I described Kyle's flavor profile as wanting those winter flavors, something that you can sit up next to a cozy fire with. And that's not what I want. I want something refreshing, something that you could drink on a hot day in Miami because, you know, I'm Latina. I love my sunshine. Kyle's just pacing in his office. I don't know what he's doing.
What is this?
Some sort of white nonsense over there. The chat is blowing up right now, and I can't keep track of it.
Love it.
Someone. Okay. All right.
All right. I got it. Hold on. I got you. All right. Trevor says, pour the Blanton's Gold. Or Nate says, Trevor, pour the Blanton's Gold. MB says, vodka doesn't suck, but not worth the time. Do the Springs drip. They might. Yeah, MD is the one in North Carolina.
Oh.
Trevor is referencing Fred Minnick. Vodka sucks. Trevor, I'm drinking a pour of hedonism. Oh, we got Trevor on the Scotch train. Mickey Mouse, you're not getting out of that one. He never does, man. He never does. Let's see. Nate said, if the desire of pour is to have no flavor, I'm out. Have you drank Hanger 1 vodka? Mike says,
I actually don't know if I've had Hanger 1.
We should get some Hanger 1.
There's a few locals that I don't like.
Hanger 1's not local, and I think Hanger 1 is solid. That's worth trying. We should do a video on Hanger 1.
Tequila. I prefer tequila over bourbon.
Yeah, I think
there's
tequila,
a lot more of that refreshness taste that I prefer.
My bro says Ukrainian vodka kills everything else. You know what?
I don't know if I've had Ukrainian vodka.
I have had Ukrainian vodka because one of my friends in Fort Wayne has a connect in Ukraine.
Why have we not hooked me up?
I don't know how long it's been since he's been over there, but it was really
Henry's
great.
Professing his love to me.
You know.
Yes. I mean, a sassy gal, like Kyle has to have a sassy gal, otherwise.
Oh, steamroll them.
Exactly. And same with me. I need a sassy guy.
Yeah. Dude. Okay, Henry, send me a DM about the vodka, Henry, because we can get the three different.
We have a lineup of 3 Belvederes
that are all a little bit different. They're all made with different processes and different grain sourcing.
And a couple, there's special releases.
Yeah.
It's on the docket somewhere. Yeah. I've been bugging him for 6 months because we've had them, since we visited Cleveland.
But seriously, Henry, shoot me a DM about that, and we can get you set up with a couple ounces of each.
Yes.
And then you can drink along to the video. I want to try Tears of, what does that say?
Where is it at?
La Roca Tequila. It's said to be one of the best, if not the best, from Mike.
Oh. There's 2 Mikes right after one another.
Michael McAllister.
Yeah.
And then Mike Halliday says, how about Kashaka? It's vodka like rum from cane juice, fresh cucumber notes.
That sounds amazing, but typically I'm not a big rum girl.
I haven't had much Kashaka.
Nate, you're so off, Mickey Mouse. I promise you are so off base.
Yeah, you really Oh boy.
Anyway, cucumber notes. I could get down with that.
Nate says, "Oh, Mickey."
Fresh. No,
This
we want
notice-
refreshing.
Why am I still smelling this nonsense?
I don't know. You went and got a different bottle, and you're still trying to drink that one.
That's what I have to think about that.
Mike Holiday says not rummy, aggressively green. I would probably be on board.
That is super peach.
I love refreshing flavors,
Fine.
which is why, even though I have a very good sense, I have a very decisive palate.
Some of those words are true.
You're a jerk. I have a very decisive palate, which is why I can distinguish notes out of the bourbon, but I'm not a particular favorite of, generally, I'll say brown liquors, because most of them are aged and most of them are in some sort of burnt, peaty wood section somewhere.
To answer your question, Akeem, that is a picture of Mr. Kessler, and I really like this line over here.
You were shaking so
I know,
much.
I'm fully extending. No, just leave me alone. It says on the bottle next to the photo, and there's a signature also from Mr. Kessler, and it says, "Every label bears facsimile of my name." And most people don't know the term facsimile in modern parlance, but lawyers do. It's a fax. Fax of a signature. Right
and
there.
then most of the remaining comments are just Nate and Trevor having it out in the comments.
You know, that's what they do. I purposely hired two admins to fight each other because it amuses me.
And then Mike McAllister just says LOL.
He's just laughing at the show. All right, now I grabbed one more pour. This is probably the last pour of the stream, guys. Hey, Akeem is a lawyer. He's hip to that shit. What's up, Akeem? Lawyers.
hip to that shit.
Lawyers, shout out lawyers. I love seeing other lawyers in the chat. That's my man. Oh, boy. D. Brown says, nice, 50 cents, 50 milliliters. That's right. Shaking, you just drank like 70,000 shots. I'm fine. Everything's fine. Mike Halliday has a dope recipe in the chat. I'm just going to not fuck around and take a photo of it because going through the chat can be difficult.
You know what?
Sometimes. I got it.
Got it. I took a screenshot.
All right.
What now?
We got it. You're crushing it.
Wait, hired? You are paying that shit.
Oh, you're not getting paid, Nate? All right. So I've got one last bourbon.
For bourbon.
I've got one last bourbon that I haven't he even paid me, Nate. I love it. Mike's doing it. I got one last bourbon before we go. And what's special about this one to me, well, it's actually not a bourbon, it's a Kentucky whiskey, but you know, whatever. But this, I haven't tried this yet.
It's not from Bourbon County?
That's actually a common myth. It only...
Well, you better cover it now.
Well, I'm going to cover it now. So Kentucky bourbon don't have to be from Bourbon County. Kentucky bourbon just got to be aged in first fill bourbon barrels. That means it can't be used in anything else. They just got to get some fresh oak, and then you char it, and you put the whiskey inside, and then it's bourbon. Y'all get that real good, like? Yeah, around here? All right. Now. Oh, Stanley is new to the channel. He is in for a treat. We are deep in this.
Hi, Stanley.
Deep in this live stream. He joined at the perfect time.
We often do accents on these live streams.
You know, every once in a while I like to dig real deep into my southern roots. She act like I'm from suburbs and shit, but I've got this in my heart because all my family comes from these places. This is how I speak. This is how I grew up.
This is not how you grew up.
This is how I grew up. This is my family.
I am from more south
we
than
ate
you
25
are.
pounds of pork in 2 days
Bullshit.
at the family reunion. We waited.
How many
we had
people were at the
scale.
family reunion?
50? It was a jolly good time.
25 pounds of pork for 2.
I know. It's not impressive at all.
No.
That's why it's funny. Anyway.
Nate says, yep, good knowing him. That's fair.
Stanley, I apologize for everything that just happened.
Mike McAllister says Stanley will now exit.
So, okay. Let's get this
Trevor
back
says,
to
don't you have a channel of our own Stanley?
All right, so let's get back to it.
Nice impersonation. How much for the barrel pick?
Yeah, so this pick, I don't actually remember. Trevor, do you know how much you sold me this pick for? This is a barrel whiskey. This is Kentucky whiskey finished in an Oloroso sherry barrel, selected by the bourbon enthusiast. The reason I think this is a special pick is because I haven't tasted it yet. I opened it only to give a sample to Trevor and Nate. So I have not tasted this yet. It's a fresh taste. I'm looking forward to it. Everybody's making up BS prices. I know I didn't pay that much for it. I would never have paid Trevor that much for it.
Unlike Nate ever, he apologized for you to Stanley.
Well, I think Stanley's probably gone. I really think we scared him off like immediately.
I don't know. We gained a while. Oh no, we just lost you.
Hey Stanley, if you're out there,
Let us know.
Say something in the chat so I know I didn't scare you off too quickly.
Henry says Kyle casting for Deliverance 2.
Yep, that's right. Sherry finished Kentucky whiskey.
Akeem, what? Sherry finished Kentucky whiskey.
Stanley's here.
Stanley's, don't apologize. I'm used to wacko people on Whiskey Drive.
Whiskey. Did he say whiskey tube?
Whiskey Tube.
Whiskey tube.
Nate says, Stanley, if you're out there, run.
I am glad that Stanley stayed through that nonsense. All right, let's go ahead and give this some notes. So, oh my God, you need to smell this, baby. You need to smell this. This is absolutely fantastic nose.
Clear my palate.
Holy cow. The nose on this is incredible. I hope it tastes half as good as it smells.
Is this the first time you've opened it?
Yeah, well, the first time I tasted it. I opened it for sampling on our trip, but I didn't taste it at that time because I had too many things to taste.
It smells like buttery caramel.
Oh.
I know butter, in your opinion, is a bullshit note.
No, it's not. No, it's not. There's some butteriness to this.
But a lot of people say butter when they don't mean it.
That's true. That's definitely true.
But this one is buttery.
Oh.
Nate says I never got a sample of that. Damn it.
Well, there's more. There
Trevor
will be
says
other
I don't
occasions.
remember how much it was thinking 70, but can't find the Venmo. It's probably a Venmo with other things, Trevor.
It's a little bit sharp, but I get lots of honey.
I don't get any sharpness.
Well, it's the narrow glass.
Here.
I just can't get much out of that. I get the butter, and I get the butter in this too. But I get like buttery. I like butter pecan and pears.
All I smell is like butter and like a wheat field.
MD says, I wish you would contact Johnny from Hillbilly Select. Have you checked this channel out? I have not, MD. I will definitely check it out. Bourbon Baller, I'm late. What's on the menu? Right now,
so many things.
We're on the tail end, but we are doing the Whiskey Enthusiast pick of Barrel. This is a Kentucky whiskey finished in an Oloroso sherry barrel. I'll definitely have to check them out, MD, because I would probably get a kick out of it.
All I smell is butter.
$80 our state price for barrel. Never seen a pick here. I've seen several picks just around, not always here in Indianapolis, but man, the nose on this is just fantastic. I get butter, I get fruit, I get apples, I get crust. It's almost like an uncooked apple pie.
So your fruity note, I'm thinking, is what I'm describing by being in like a wheat field. Because wheat, when distilled, smells kind of fruity. But I'm smelling like butter, and then like if I were standing in a wheat field. David Babb says Stanley is a staple of Whiskey Tube. Congratulations. Welcome. Thank you.
I'm glad Stanley has joined us then. I am not a staple of Whiskey Tube because I'm not good at being consistent. But I'm happy to have staples of Whiskey Tube floating around in the
Stanley,
chat here.
We do have a regular live schedule. It's Thursdays. Thirsty Thursdays with the Drink Pro.
Just asking me because I go live on IG Thursdays at 5 and don't want to step on any toes. Well, 5 Pacific. So we go live about the same time, Stanley, but not to worry. There's plenty of viewers for everyone. You said 5 p.m. Pacific. That means probably 8 Eastern. We typically go between 8:30 and 9 Eastern. So there's overlap for sure, but I'm not worried about it. You do your thing, my man. Stanley, what is your handle on Instagram? Throw it in the chat.
Bourbon Baller says Washington State taxes suck. I won't bring that into my liquor store. $1.59, but good whiskey.
Yeah, Bourbon Baller, you're 100% right. The Washington State taxes on whiskey are absurd. I got a couple of friends and family out in Washington, and those taxes are high. They tax
smells so good.
Weed and whiskey. They tax high. Not that I know.
Just everyone from here just stream to this stream. It'll be a good time. Nate,
That's not a bad move.
That's not a bad move.
Not a bad move.
You know, that would be the
27%. Isn't that crap? 27% is such a high tax rate. I'm sorry, go ahead. I just taxes get me all worked up.
Well, you are a tax attorney, so it reads. But you get all mad at me when I step on your toes when you're trying to. No, it's all you.
The _ mash bill on IG. All right, I'll make sure I'm following. Nate says he's not always an idiot.
Well, I was going to say, I appreciate that comment, Nate. You and I differ on so many platforms. So many platforms. We don't get along very often.
Well, you know, I'm surprised it's not more sherry forward.
Wait, this is sherry finish?
Oloroso sherry finish, yep.
It doesn't smell like sherry. Wait, did you taste it already?
Of course I did.
That's like the 6th time. I'll just leave. I will leave.
Wow, I like you, Yolanda. This is
Thanks,
okay.
Nate, you're okay.
This is I like this whiskey on the nose. It's like you said, buttery. I get a lot of pear.
It's buttery.
I get lemon.
No.
I get a little bit of popcorn. It's like a buttered popcorn kind of vibe. The corn shows up a little bit.
Taste-wise, I could see lemon, but it's not like you're eating a lemon. It's like a grilled lemon.
On the palate.
That's what I'm talking about.
So there's not a lot of sweet aromatics on the palate. It is, yeah, you're right. It's got the sort of grilled lemon, grilled fruit vibe.
It's specifically a grilled citrus flavor.
Yeah, it's got grilled citrus. I keep thinking grilled pineapple. Peach. But it's not sweet like a pineapple.
I second you, peach.
I don't get a peach flavor, though.
It's not, but like, it's almost like the caramelization of a grilled peach.
And then the oak.
That nose makes me mad.
The oak in the mid palate really stands out.
I love geranium. I'm sorry, Nate. That's the only time I'm ever gonna apologize, so savor it.
You're making it hard for me to give whiskey notes, babe.
Sorry, Nate and I are just constantly
I know.
war.
Why don't you go fight in the DMs? Don't fight here.
I can't be your second and comment. I'm either not here and can comment, or I'm here.
So I think the mid palate for me is very wood forward, very oak forward. There's a little bit of a grain note in the mid palate. The finish is kind of nutty, a little bit of a char. I get some char on this. This is very unexpected because
here, or not.
I'm fucking getting there.
Oh no, I was trying to get you to pour mine into your glass. There you go.
You don't have very much left.
No, but I rarely do. But that's because I pour myself.
But I mean, this is not. This has the nose of like a light whiskey or something, or a Canadian whiskey. It does not smell like Kentucky whiskey.
Bourbon Baller says Dovetail and Infinity are good bottles. Akeem says Dovetail is a favorite. Barrel makes great stuff.
I like a lot of Barrel products, but I also often feel like they are overpriced for what you're getting. Barrel, much like Whistle Pig, I like what you're doing, but you could probably cut your price in about 2/3, and if you had 2/3 of what the current price is, it'd probably be about right.
Stanley says, "Is this what I can expect every time I tune in?"
When you tune in 2.5 hours into the stream, yes. You're 2.5 hours in the stream. This is where we're at. This is how it's going to be.
If you watched at the very beginning, I was quiet and just let him be him.
Yeah, she stopped that nonsense.
I didn't sass him as much.
I'm not sure if it's a good thing or a bad thing for Stanley. I think Stanley's still on the fence about it.
Thank you, admins, though, for being true.
I will say, like, the Barrel Dovetail is really nice. And I'm glad that Bourbon Baller brought up the Infinity, because the Infinity gets shit on. People don't like the Infinity from Barrel, and it was one of my favorites.
Nate, you missed my previous comment about us not eating McDonald's anymore.
Yeah, you're right, Akeem. That shit is silly. Although, today, this is exclusive. No one else knows about this. I haven't posted my photo yet. I tasted the batch 7.
Is this from Chad?
Yeah, this is from Chad. I tasted batch 7. Shout out Chad. Hats off. I tasted batch 7 of the Whistle Pig. Oh, what's it called?
way
Oh,
to shout him
no.
out.
Oh, no, my brain fart. Hold on.
This
Hold on.
is about the level you
Hold
were
on.
mad at me for not shouting out Crystal's company, which is hashtag the Clay House Company.
Why don't you spell that? Because I couldn't understand you either time.
Clay House Company. Shout out Crystal for, all your wives, because I don't think there's a single girl watching us right now. But
thank you, Stanley, the boss hog. God, my brain. Akeem got it first, but Stanley and Akeem, the boss hog. You knew what I was talking about. Batch 7 of the boss hog. I tried it today. It is. And then everybody. David comes in, Henry comes in, everybody comes in. All right. Brain fart, the boss hog. I tasted today batch 7 of the boss hog, and it was the best whistle pig by far that I've ever tasted in my entire life. It was gingerbread cookies. It was deep, rich plums. It was beautiful and sweet and complex. And the only time I've ever tasted a whistle pig and thought this is worth several hundreds of dollars.
Well, they're asking about that now. Boss Hog is good for $150, not $600. Says Bourbon Baller. D Brown, is it $500? Akeem, for real, is it $500 good?
I would pay $250 for 375 of it, which means it's worth it. I think if I had the opportunity to split a bottle of batch 7 for $250 and I get 375, if they let me keep the bottle, done, signed, sealed, delivered. That's how good it is. And you're totally right, Trevor. It is so overpriced, so overhyped, but damn it, that batch 7 Boss Hog blew me away. I couldn't believe it.
Henry says, dude, I gotta get you samples of Bardstown Discovery Series 3 and 4. Unreal good. Akeem says, I just splashed $750 on a Highland Park 30.
Oh, so damn, Akeem, that's intense, brother.
So I'm good for a bit. In the plant world, if you gave me $750, I could buy so many of my wish list plants.
Man, I could
only wish.
I gotta get together with Akeem and try that Highland Park 30. That is a sweet bottle, my man.
Bourbon Baller says, Trevor, yeah, way too much. Trevor says, but I haven't had a Boss Hog, though, just the other stuff. Nate says he has the Bardstown number 3.
I don't think I've got the 4.
I'll take Parker Heritage Rye all day. Mike McAllister, Akeem, that's a great buy, though. Akeem, anytime, dude.
Man, Akeem, we're going to make that happen, my man. We got to make that happen. This is one of my best live streams yet. You guys are
holy
awesome.
Crap, we're almost 3 hours in, and we still have almost 20 people.
People are going crazy in the chat. I love it. I love when people are in the chat and active. That makes this so much more fun. I can talk about whiskey until you're bored to tears. So I'm so happy to have engagement in other ways because
there's so many more comments.
I can read them all. You don't have to read them all out loud. I can read them all.
Oh, I haven't been reading them all out loud. I've been skipping over.
Well, you've been reading a lot of them out loud. Don't feel compelled to do that.
Well, I gotta get my producer credit somehow. I
gotta say, I think this is probably overpriced, unfortunately. It's a very interesting bottle. It's a unique pour. But it's like Akeem says, I'll be around, dude. Great stream. I appreciate it, Akeem. Your computer's gonna die. Get some rest, my man. I think there's a Highland Park 18 in town, Worthy Pursuit. Hit me up in the DMs, Mike, and let me know what the price is on that, because it is, for me, I'm very price sensitive. So if it's gonna be, a good bottle and it's too much, don't mess with it. So let me know what the price is on that, Mike. Absolutely, Mike McAllister. At some point, we need to get together and do a big tasting. Absolutely, we got to get through this COVID bullshit. / I got to get my vaccine. We'll find a way to make it happen. I have my little horns on. But I think that the problem with this barrel is honestly expectations. When I read Kentucky whiskey finished in an Oloroso sherry barrel, I have very specific notes in mind. And when I taste this and smell this, I don't get any of them. It's not bad, but it's so against my expectations that it also goes against my desires and my wishes. It's not what I want from an Oloroso finished Kentucky whiskey. And because of that, I can't say I feel... Well, it broke.
It did.
I can't say I feel great about it.
There you go. That's probably where it broke before.
There's also a piece here.
Oh, we'll fix it.
Biking down, indeed.
It's not the first time it broke. Both of the Viking helmets broke when I was painting them. Stanley says, send me a list of what you got and I'll come up with some samples for you. My email is on IG bio.
I can do that, man. I can definitely do that.
You know what this live chat or live stream is missing?
What?
Our doggo.
Yep, Oreo is away.
I miss our doggo.
She'll be back soon enough.
We addressed that at the beginning of the stream for anyone who's interested.
It's probably good she's not here right now because she is
probably true. Needy as fuck.
Yeah, she's pretty needy.
No, it's missing you eating. We already well, no, he did eat earlier.
It's missing Malort. Bourbon Baller. I don't mind. I actually like Malort. I'm one of those weirdos that likes it.
Wait, we have never discussed this. Fun fact, we have never discussed this. I was previously married to a family from Chicago.
To a whole family you were married?
Well, I was married from one person, but the whole family was from Chicago. I've had Malort. I've had Malort with backers. No. What is wrong with you?
It's very herbal.
No.
It's nice and herbal.
No.
Have you ever had Tomatin?
Malort together.
Have you ever had Tomatin 18? It tastes like gummy bears plus wild turkey plus green sprees. One of my absolute favorites. I haven't had Tomatin 18. I need to try
Nate
that.
also
MD.
says, wait, what is Malort? Not good.
It's a Chicago staple.
Bathtub liquor is what it is.
That's actually true. It actually was made in a bathtub.
Originally. I don't think it is anymore. Oh, so Henry backs us up in the comments.
What did he say?
He said, huh? Malort is made in a bathtub in Chicago.
Yep. Accurate.
True fact. And then Bourbon Baller says made in trash cans.
You're not far off.
You're not wrong. And D Brown says no one likes Malort. Yes, that is accurate. I don't know why he's saying this. We've had Malort together and it was not good.
I like Malort.
Rachel made us try Malort and it was not. She had us do Malort multiple times. She had us do the Chicago special.
I just followed Stan on Instagram.
Sweet. If anyone is interested, probably not.
At the Drink Pro.
At the Drink Pro on Instagram for him. Planted period gnome.
Everything is gone now. Now we're back.
Planted period gnome
Yeah.
for me.
Planted period gnome for Yolanda.
For my plants, which, you know.
Someday I'll buy a streaming software that lets me stream that across the bottom.
I have now learned that, you know, not that I know your wives, but I'm sure most of your wives are probably plant people because that is whatever world we are in.
Make your wives become plant people and then tell them to follow Yolanda at planted.gnome.
Well, also, I have noticed that a lot of bourbon people have plant people for wives.
Yeah. D Brown is deeply questioning his relationship with watching these streams. You don't like early times, but you like Malort. I know, D Brown. I know.
And then Nate says my wife is a plant killing.
I love Bourbon Baller. Smash that like button. Punch it. Punch the like button.
Nate,
and the subscribe button.
Does that mean she killed the plant I sent her?
My God, the Beverly Hillbillies of the bourbon world. Indian Head Silver Stacker. You know what? You're not wrong. I'm fine with it. I've been called worse than a hillbilly. That's fine.
I mean, I would say you're like 40% hillbilly.
I have there's certainly a strain of hillbilly that runs through me.
You're 40% hillbilly and 60% lawyer.
That's probably accurate. No, the plant you sent her survived, Nate.
That's great news. It doesn't require much water,
yeah,
so.
Mike. Kavalan is an interesting and cheap scotch. I need to get on some Kavalan. That's true,
How
Mike.
do you feel about Dickel juice, according to David?
So I like Dickel more than most. One of the best examples of it's a fucking nursery at Henry's house. One of the best examples of Dickel. I know you're like that, Henry.
Bourbon people and plant people, we like each other.
Henry, you gotta make that connection happen. Yeah.
You haven't seen our upstairs yet.
So, like Trev said, Old Carter Batch 6 is Dickel, and I like it a lot too. It's really fantastic. Mike says you want to send me samples of Ardbeg and have her try it. I've got a couple Ardbegs, Mike, but if you want to send me some samples, we could do a joint video of Ardbeg because it would be very entertaining. I totally agree.
Stanley followed you.
Mickey Mouse says no vegetarians allowed.
It's hard to be a vegetarian. I respect the dedication because I certainly couldn't do it. I love meat so much, and
Every time I try to feed him vegetarian food, and he's like, "Wait,
where's the meat at?
Why didn't we have chicken?
This isn't a meal, though. This is a snack. Like, I don't understand." And it's like, and I don't even have prejudice against vegetarians. I just literally can't do it.
Yeah, no, he read a balanced vegetarian curry recipe and then was like,
I'm gonna add chicken to this.
I think I'll add chicken.
I'm gonna add chicken to this. Can't get old Carter in Washington. Yeah, it's hard, man. I can only get it because I can drive down to Kentucky and literally buy it off the shelf there. Anyone want an old C batch 6? Yeah. Nate is I see it. I'm fine. Drink it. I will. Wee Beastie says Bourbon Baller. You know what, Bourbon Baller? I've got a bottle of Wee Beastie that I have not yet opened. That's going to be opening in the near future. I'll definitely have to do a video on it.
Mike McAllister says meat is the foundation of every meal. Spoken like a true Midwesterner.
MD says, please buy Tomatin 18, dude. Won't be disappointed. It's the old school oily scotch with the perfect modern thing. I'll keep an eye out for it, MD.
Indian Head Silver Stacker says, I'm sorry, I must leave the stream. I can feel like my is going down as I sit here. I don't know what that means.
That's fine. Have a good night, Indian Head Silver Stacker. It's getting late. Don't worry. Don't let her try Ardbeg, Mike says. My wife whacked me over the head all weekend after tasting Lefroy because it kept coming back to haunt her. Ooh. Bourbon Baller says I can get B-Tag like a mofo, but not 4-gate or any good MGP. Well, Bourbon Baller, if you want to get 4-gate or good MGP and you have B-Tag to trade, I bet I can make that happen for you. We should talk.
Are we going to 3?
Kind of looks like we are.
Well, I'm just trying to figure this out.
But, yeah. No Old Carter in Oregon either. Yeah, Old Carter doesn't get out that far. Although, the Carters have a winery that is in California that I bet you guys could get your hands on. Yeah, they make high-end wines. That's how they actually started. They started Mark Carter, who is the Mark and Sherry. Mark's the guy.
Do they make sherry?
You know what? I don't know.
They should make sherry after sherry.
They should. I don't know if they do. There's gonna be a after that comment about being able to get BTAC easy, but you're not able to get 4-gate, you're gonna have a flood of comments now, my man. Bourbon Baller's about to get flooded with comments. Yolanda's gone. She left. She gave up.
I mean, easy to do.
She gave up on me. That's fine. I cannot believe 17 of you are still watching this. I can't believe I'm still watching this. I've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 different bourbons. And what's crazy is I don't even feel drunk. I mean, I know I've had enough. I can feel that this is probably like a good stasis. That's how I would feel about it. I guess I'm going to go back to the beginning of the video. I'm sort of disappointed and frustrated that this is not going to be how my videos go in the future. For those of you who joined late, I unfortunately have been diagnosed with a neurological condition that's going to require me to cut back pretty significantly my drinking. But the channel will continue. The videos will continue. We're still going to have a good time on here. It's just going to change how I approach making content. And it's not going to be a problem. We're not gonna lose the fun, I don't think, at all, because this is still fun. This is still a good time, and I feel relatively sober, and I think I can maintain this no matter my level of sobriety. This kind of content, this kind of banter and engagement. I love what's happening here in this chat. D Brown, just for you, my friend, I'll crack that wee beastie. I'll do it. I will do it. But thank you guys so much for being a part of this, because it honestly means the world to me. And I'm your manager, Linda quit. Yeah, it's been a fun time, but I'm hanging on, so we're gonna keep going. D Brown wants me to crack that wee beastie, so I'm gonna do it.
All right, go for it. I like Henry's comment. If you're not drunk after 12 pours, it's time for a dry February. Well, I mean, that's probably true.
see previous stream, or aka the beginning of the stream.
I kind of recapped it a bit.
Well, I mean, you're not wrong. I will say that that would make running this channel very hard. And I've definitely not had as much as he has had. I do want to take this moment while he is busy digging in his whiskey closet. In our house, we have a total of 3 closets. One is devoted to whiskey, one is devoted to my craft supplies, and the third is delivered to our coats. So he gets a whole closet to his whiskey because I'm a nice person. But I do want to thank our wrenches. I know Nate and I will probably always have a feud, but I appreciate our wrenches very, very much. Very much. Especially in times of, you know, awkward comments where people tend to hit on me, and that's weird. Andy says quitting is the way to go. The drink responsible pro.
There you go.
You can't quit life, man.
So, man, our meetups will be weird.
We should quit or at least take major longer breaks. I mean, that's probably true. Damn, man, in all seriousness, make sure you take care of yourself. We're working on it. This is kind of his last hurrah.
This is a bit of a last hurrah. We're still gonna do these things. It's still gonna be a lot of fun.
Not maybe as much fun, but
yeah, can you still do tastings without imbibing? Stanley says, if so, you might not have to change much. So, Stanley, I'm thinking, much to my chagrin, I will probably need to do a spit cup on a live stream. Which, you know, people do that in the spirit and wine world all the time. It's very common at competitions. It's very common at events. It's very common among master distillers when they're not doing things performatively. When they're in the back room actually trying to taste their own product, they don't swallow all of that. So I suspect that's what I'm going to have to do, even though I don't love doing it. But I love this so much, this engagement, this back and forth. I don't think I have to be 12 pours actually deep to do this.
I've also joked that I need to make you a little blind for the live stream.
Yeah.
I'm a very crafty person, and I told him I would make him a little wall.
Whatever Henry was trying to say did not come through.
What did Henry?
D Brown, shout out to you, my friend. We're gonna break open this wee beastie.
If you're not drunk after 12 pours, it's time for.
No, do you not see this? Like, not there. It is. Nothing wrong with spitting.
Oh,
there it came through.
Yeah, I know. I missed that. Wait, alcohol affects your brain, according to D Brown.
Go figure, right? I'm glad you're enjoying it, Bourbon Baller. I'm gonna keep this train rolling as long as I can, my man. As long as I can find a way to make it happen, I'm gonna keep making it happen. Yes, Fred Minnick does spit all the time, and he's probably got the right idea about that. He came up through the wine world where there's honestly, let me talk about this for a second. There is a real stigma in whiskey against spitting that doesn't exist nearly as much in the wine world.
Yeah,
in the wine world, it is just par for the course. But in whiskey, there's a stigma against it. And, you know, I think it shouldn't exist because there are people who just can't drink that much whiskey. I'm about to be a case in point, unfortunately. All-nighter bitches. Let's hope not, man.
Probably not. And I'm glad you're enjoying our new format.
This is actually pretty new. Yolanda joining every stream has only been the last, 3 or 4?
This year.
Yeah, it's a 2020 affair.
It's a 2021.
New channel name, Spit versus Solo.
It's a 2021 edition. Is me being on every stream.
Whoa, that's smoky. You're gonna hate this.
I've always kind of been the producer of streams. I was the one that set up his blind tastings. I was the one that made sure his cups were numbered. I made sure he ate before streams.
That's a big part of it. She made sure I had water and food and kept my shit together.
Even if I didn't have time to cook something, I was running to the restaurant to go grab him something before streams.
Yeah, and Trevor, that's actually pretty great. Like, that's right based off of the what is it? He whiskey, she wine, something like that. We probably shouldn't make that our name though. That's the OnlyFans account. There it is. Now it's full circle.
So I'm glad you enjoy the format. Who was it that said they were new?
That was Bourbon Baller.
I'm glad you're enjoying me
This is
giving him
actually-
shit, because that is what I do on a daily basis, and
I
now
actually-
it's just on the internet.
I actually really like the smell of this more than I thought I would. The Wee Beastie. I get you a wee pour. You're not gonna like it, but
Oh no.
give it the old college try, babe. Give it the old college try.
But I don't like peat.
I know.
And that's all this is.
I get some really good like cinnamon out of this. This is beautiful.
You get cinnamon out of this? It's a peat bomb. It smells like peat and vomit.
Oh, come on now.
No.
You at least take a wee nip, just for me.
$5.
No,
Give me $5.
no, I don't get $5 to give
Then
you.
don't charge me for my McDonald's earlier.
What?
You bought me McDonald's earlier. Don't make me pay for it.
Didn't I already charge you for it? And that's more than $5. Stop! I know your tricks, woman. You can. Come on, you guys. Do you guys want to see Yolanda take a small sip, a wee nip, if you will, of the Wee Beastie? Come on, tell us.
D. Brown, we will not have Yolanda
Nate
sip
Cooper-
the spit cup.
Nate Cooper just said, "I'll give you $10 to take a shot of it."
Deal.
Nate, if I need to see the Venmo. Nate, you have my Venmo. If I see that Venmo, I'll pour her a proper shot.
I will go get a shot.
We will take a
I will
proper
go
shot.
get a shot glass.
I want to see that $10, Nate. If I see it in the Venmo, she's taking a proper shot. A proper shot glass full. Let's make it happen, guys. I'm glad you guys are here with me, the Drink Pro and the live stream. This is insane. I've never done a stream this long. Proper shot glass. Once I see that $10 hit, we'll do it. If anybody wants to send me a Venmo, it's at ThinkFletch, ThinkFletch. Send a Venmo there, and Yolanda will do a shot of Artbag Wee Beastie.
Mike McAllister says if Nate sends this, he is a legend.
He really is, and he will do it. Trevor's 100% right. He's not afraid of that.
I mean, if you pay me, I will drink this more. This is a thing. Like, if you guys want to pay me, I will be more of a fan of whiskey. Trevor says Nate is a legend. Bourbon Baller says we need to get you monetized. Yes, I agree. Mike Holiday.
We're working on it, man. We're working on it.
Mike Holiday says, well, that shot glass looks familiar. Mike McAllister changed Nate's handle to the legend.
Yeah, we are working hard to get me monetized. I'd love to do it. I'm doing everything I can to get there. Because then they could just send super chats, and this would all be real quick and easy.
We have to get above 1,000 followers, though.
We're close. We're at like
so
665-ish.
I mean, I'm
like
not
that.
on all the videos, only the streams, but I do own partnership in this company.
Yeah, it's a 60-40 partnership. We got a company.
But that did,
Nate sent the Venmo. Hold on.
Wait, 60-40. That's not evenly split. I get the full $10.
Yes, you get the full $10.
Okay.
Can you guys see that? New payment, $10.
All right, I'll take a shot. Nate's head is big enough. You need to stop, Mike. I'm not going to enjoy this, Nate, but you're paying me, so I can't be that mad. Kyle hasn't slurred once. What the fuck, man? Tank respect.
There's a reason they're making me stop this. That's what I'll say. My response. All right. Cheers.
Cheers.
L'chaim. I actually really like that. I think that's great.
No. It's all Pete.
You don't like that?
No.
I think that's really good.
Nate says, work it. I mean, Nate, we can work something out. If you want to keep paying me to take shots, I will do it. That is a thing that I will do.
I love what's happening so much tonight. You guys are great. You guys are freaking awesome.
I want to say Whiskey is unreal right now. Good stuff. I'm reading through the title.
He says Ugdal. Yeah, Ugdal is unreal right now. Good stuff. You know, that's the other bottle I have not opened yet. I love Ugdal. It's fantastic. It might be my favorite Ardbeg. And if you don't know this, the Ardbeg has a council, essentially, that reviews all their different whiskeys. And and Ardbeg, their own people, reviewed all of their special releases blind and picked Ugdal as their favorite. So I fuck with Ugdal for real. Ugdal is a fantastic peated scotch. I think she's going for a chaser as we speak. Let's see what we got going on here. MD says Kyle hasn't slurred once. What the fuck, man? Tank respect. And then Mike says I'm his hype man though, Trev. What else we got? Mike is my boy. T Brown says Pete can be a nice mouthfeel.
Awesome, same face as Everclear.
I agree. Pete can add a nice mouthfeel. Whiskey S says Ugdal. Yep, I just went on my Ugdal rant. What does Stanley say? If you need someone to come on a live to help you out or anything, don't hesitate to reach out. Also, do you have merch? It is now my mission to get you 1,000 followers. I do have merch, Stanley.
We do have merch. Find it up. Right here.
Yeah, so this is one of the pieces of merch. This is actually a little green man from, do you remember which town in Kentucky?
Hopkinsville, Kentucky.
Hopkinsville, Kentucky, the little green man. It's a legend about a UFO landing in Hopkinsville.
And we made him steal bourbon.
Yeah, we knew what he really came down here for. These shirts are available at thedrinkpro.com. I've got a bunch of stuff at thedrinkpro.com. And you know, honestly, like this it helps me, but it also helps an independent artist. Kyle T designed this. We had several meetings with him. Good guy, independent artist, making all kinds of cool content. He's got his own Etsy page, which I have shouted out in my Instagram several times.
Yeah, I don't
I'll throw
remember
up there
right
again.
off the top of my head. Nate says, "Dang, hope she was vomiting." Thanks, Nate.
Yeah.
You keep paying me. We'll see if we can work something out.
Yep, thedrinkpro.com though, Stanley. Check out that merch, man.
Maybe that just means I'll just keep losing weight because I swear I've lost like 10 pounds this week because of puking. So,
well, that's not great.
Anyway.
Mike has kin there. Jason with Malort says Crooked Tail.
I mean, Malort would have been better.
Maybe we'll make this a thing. You pick crappy pour and Yolanda can shoot it. I mean, if you guys will pay,
if you keep paying me, I will keep doing it.
We'll keep doing that.
I'm already drinking the crappy wine that you guys got.
Yeah,
this
is the free cab. Is this a cab? Yeah, free cab we got. Is this any good?
It's
it's got a lid on it.
It's okay. It's fine.
It's not good.
It's cheap cab.
But it's very flat and has a bitterness to it that cab shouldn't have.
It would be good with steak.
Yeah, it'd be good with like a flank steak or something cheap. It's cheap wine, cheap steak.
Free is never crappy. You are right. That is why I'm
Malort
drinking
double
it.
shot. I don't actually have any Malort in the house.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Wait, if next stream, if you Venmo us $50, we will source Malort and I will do a double shot.
We'll both do double shots. Send us $50 and we'll both do double shots.
We will make it happen. I don't know where we could even find Malort in Indiana.
Oh, I know where to get it.
Oh, well, if you Venmo us $50, we will do double shots of Malort at the beginning of next week's stream.
We really do need to get to 1,000 subs so we can just make that all super chat shit.
Kyle, you like Malort? Why would we pay you to drink that?
Shut up, Mike. Don't tell them my secret.
That was Nate.
Oh, it was Nate. Well, shut up, Nate. What did Mike say? As far as wine, Moscato DOS is one of my wife that I like. I have not had that particular Moscato. Moscato is a classic. A lot of people like it. I've had really good luck with some champagnes that we really liked. There are some good wines out there for sure. I hear Jephthah is really good. I have had some Jephthah Creek that I really liked. D. Brown. I think Jephthah, similar to some of the other things that I've talked about, needs some time to develop their profile.
I just realized if you were to do a double shot of Malort, you wouldn't be able to drink the rest of the stream.
It's true. My new 2-drink maximum. I would just only drink Malort that stream, and I have to spit everything else out. What a miserable existence.
But seriously, send us $50 and we'll do it.
But YouTube takes like 30% of super chats. Just use PayPal or Venmo. I'm okay with that. Henry says, you guys are a trip power duo. Tit in the sack. Talk soon. Cheers, Henry. Boom. Go to bed.
Good night.
Desadia sparkling Moscato from Italy. That sounds really fine. I like that. Bourbon Baller, Belglois, Col Solaire. He's shouting out some stuff right there. I think those are wines.
Does anyone know what those are?
I think they're wines.
Please let us know in the chat.
He's shouting them out.
What else?
I gotta pee again. This is a long stream. I've never done a stream this long. I want Kyle to have something he doesn't like there. Well, send me $10, Nate.
I don't know that he has anything he doesn't like.
That's not true. We've got the bucket.
Bucket? We
The
have
Halloween.
Oh yeah, we have the Halloween bucket where I just put shit in a glass. So if you want to pay him $10 to just get a mystery pour from Yolanda, we can make that happen. We already kind of did that, but it was a surprise, and I don't know which one of these is which, but one of these is the glass he didn't finish of the mystery pour from the bucket. Good red wines. Oh, so this household, we actually you can't tell from us sitting, but I am only 5'3". Kyle is 6'3". I had to force him to get me a wine glass down earlier. I actually don't know what I've done with it, which is why I'm drinking it from a rocks glass. We don't drink wine often. I actually asked him where the wine glasses were because oftentimes I'm drinking vodka and he's drinking whiskey. Trevor says, does Kyle not like anything? I mean, most things he does enjoy. Mickey Mouse homemade choke cherry wine. Honestly, okay, I grew up with a mother who was, she's never going to watch this, crazy. So I've had.
I hope she doesn't watch this.
She's never going to watch this. I don't think she's watched a single one of your videos. Even though, I mean, you know, she bought your mug. She's supporting us. Anyway, I've had choke cherry wine. I've had elderberry wine, both homemade in a basement. Let's not call it a basement. A root cellar, because it was more dirt than it was anything else. Yes, I agree with you. Delicious.
So I grew up on dandelion wine from
Hey, question.
Yeah.
Have you ever had turtle soup?
Yeah, my great grandma made me turtle soup. It was good stuff.
I'm fresh out of Venmo 10s for the night, according to Nate.
I want to go back. So yeah, he said that, and then Trevor said he was going to hit us next time. Then the thing I wanted to catch again too. Well, first off, Deep Brown, you know I don't speak Spanish.
I don't speak Spanish either, even though I'm Mexican.
But
so.
I want to point out that Stanley says run your live through Stream Elements, and people can tip you through PayPal and get that money. I'll check that out, Stanley. I just got a PayPal for my channel for the
That's
Drink
a
Pro.
hot tip, so thank you.
I now have the Drink Pro, so I'll definitely have to do that.
Kyle, how do you feel about grappa?
Grappa, I have
Crooked Tail, which we haven't seen in the comments. Hello.
How do you feel about grappa? Grappa, I have had a couple of different.
Oh God, they're trying to sort
experiences with grappa, and honestly, I was like, it didn't move me. Maybe, I mean, that might be a pretentious way to say it, but like grappa was what I have had. You know, I know there's a variety out there, but what I have had was decent, but it wasn't amazing, but it wasn't terrible. And so I was like, nah, it's fine. I need to do like a video on grappa. I think that's something that people don't know a lot about, and it would be good for video content.
Well, I just want to say Nate is trying to crowdsource terrible things for us to drink.
Great.
And then D Brown is what says Kyle is 6'3". No wonder he hates pants.
Facts.
Mike McAllister, Nate, we can make one if he will not like.
Oh, I'm sure you can make something I won't like. I'm sure that's possible.
Mickey Mouse, my wife, made orange peel wine. It turned out good.
Oh, I bet it did. That sounds good.
That does sound absolutely delicious, but I'm a sucker for some citrus.
Yeah, me too.
Nate, we hate you, but we love you.
That's pretty mean. Like I said before, she's a mean drunk.
Yeah, okay. See if you get laid later.
Well, later is now because it's 11:45. We probably are going to go.
Really?
Yeah.
Holy shit, we have to work.
We have to work pretty early in the morning. So thank you guys so much for joining the stream. This was a blast.
You may as well make it around.
Don't give me that bullshit. This is a perfectly fine time to stop.
No, 15 more minutes. Someone send us $10 more on Venmo, and we will do 15 more minutes.
Hold on, I'll throw in the chat my Venmo so you guys can do that.
Hey, there's still like a bunch of people watching.
There are 13 people watching this for some crazy reason that I will never understand. Yeah, but I think I'm pretty much done.
D Brown says he's done too.
Yeah, I can't blame you.
That's fair. How about you pay us $15? No, Nate, we'll leave. That's how this works. We can just hit end stream and be done.
And I think we're going to.
All right. Well, I guess that just finish it up.
All right.
Sorry I interrupted the first time.
All right. Thank you guys so much for joining. I appreciate every one of you. This has been a wonderful stream. This has been fantastic. You guys are awesome, Bourbon Baller. Everyone that's in the chat that was engaging with us, having a good time, talking incessantly.
It's a lot more fun when we have comments to respond to.
Yeah, having 15 to 20 people in the stream all the time and constantly commenting and chatting makes my job a lot easier. Because I will just sit here and blather on and on and on, and people don't usually like that as much.
It gives me more reason to give him shit.
Yeah,
which is really why you guys are here.
Yeah, you can watch her give me all of the shit, which some of it I deserve. Some of it.
Most of it.
Some of it.
All of it.
All right. Keep drinking like professionals, everybody. We will see you next Thursday for Thirsty Thursday. Like, comment, subscribe. Like D Brown said. Cheers. Peace out. Man, I can't believe you don't like that. That's fantastic. That's good stuff.
Sounds like it's gross.